Alright, here we are with Fellowship of Cybertron, Season 2, Episode 8, The Path of Logic, Part 2. We are in February 2020, and to my left, we have... Oh wait, I'm Devin, and I'm playing the Horizon. And to my left, we have X playing Y.
I'm Tyler, I'm playing Amble, the Lantern.
Ian playing Rover, the Collector.
Peter as Fighter of No Space, the Angel.
Mark as Giacomo, the Halfling.
Alright, previously on the Transformers, Path of Logic, what happened?
We went to a planet and there was a Decepticon ship in the orbit and we didn't shoot it down.
I'm actually proud of us.
We used our head axes. So, yeah, turns out Death Charge is there piloting it and he's looking for Waspinator that's on this planet in a pretender shell. The planet's on a quarantine.
The way you're punctuating this recap is like a Star Wars crawl. I can see which words would be in all caps. He's looking for Waspinator, who's in a pretender shell.
That I just heard.
He pilots the dark side.
I just heard like the Frank Miller narration.
On the last episode of the Transformers, the Autobots fight their nemesis, the Decepticons.
So decided to go down to the planet and, find him.
Not siding with the first people we meet this time.
I mean, we did side with Death Charge.
And I got locked in prison for 3 days.
Because someone didn't, did a bad dance.
Yeah, you can't dance on
Is
Footloose
my character
Planet.
does my character Shakira now? Like
You can't dance on Footloose Planet.
we are all Kevin Bacon.
So yeah, turns out people are getting sick, and there's, class problems, and so on and so on.
I think you'll find his class in race.
Just dump this and
Well,
hope for the best.
I said I think you'll find.
Oh,
Are we just fucking spilling everything everywhere?
spill those dice.
There it is.
What else happened?
How far are you into the recap?
People are sick, and there's racism.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
so
a pretty good read.
Only the laborers have gotten sick.
Yeah.
But the barons like to steal laborer children to use as serf slaves for their kids.
As you do.
They just don't like it. It's planet-wide policy.
We've also narrowed down that there seems to be a connection between the energy mines and the sickness. They're correlated. There's a lot of groupings of outbreakings around the energy mines.
Power plants.
Power plants.
Specifically, they're Naquita reactors.
Oh shit.
It looks like the strains are engineered in some way. Like they're not natural, this sickness. So someone is behind this, theoretically.
Someone's to blame.
Yeah.
And to recap for the listeners, when we use the word Naquita, we mean energon-enriched minerals that are found rarely throughout the galaxy, used by most cultures in the Star League to power their FTL ships and use the FTL relays on the outskirts of most solar systems. Which combines Stargate with Transformers, with Mass Effect, with...
Unobtainium.
Unobtainium from Avatar, because you guys first found it on the Avatar planet. That's 5 toys in the toy box.
We're original.
I mean, yeah, this is going to be great. You know what? You know what was one of the most popular actual plays that was out there, like, 10 years ago? It was called Star Trek Late Night, and it was... or Star Trek HBO. And it was someone taking Star Trek and writing it as if it was an HBO series, so rated R, you could have nudity and stuff. And it was like a tabletop game. And they just combined all the franchises together. They threw Star Wars, Babylon 5, Battlestar Galactica, Stargate, Star Trek, and they just tossed all the aliens in, because why make up your own new unique alien culture when instead of having, problems with some war culture, you just grab the Krogan from Mass Effect, or you just grab the,
Klingons.
No, whatever, what's his name was, from Farscape.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What's his name? Damn, he was a main character, and he was the war alien.
Drogo?
Drogo, yeah, who was a
Hermarian.
Hinox?
No, he was not a Hinox.
Hynerian? No, that's what Rigel was.
That's-
I'm just saying that's what it was. It was really popular and it won some like little community website awards. Why not just do that? There's no reason not to.
Steel ship.
Neat.
Just bash it all together and then have a Star Trek Enterprise go on through.
No.
No. That's what I'm gonna do if you guys ever get to like if this season keeps going later and later into the timeline, like time keeps passing. Eventually, you're just gonna run to Federation ships. I'll just start redoing the Drumhead or Measure of a Man. I don't care. You can't stop me. I've watched those episodes 1,000 times.
Dear Doctor.
Yeah, Dear Doctor, show
You
up.
were already there.
So suddenly this becomes, the
Voyager.
with Intergalactic.
Yeah, it'll be real dumb. Like the Voyager will transform into a giant robot in space and fight another giant robot. It'll be stupid. I love
See,
it.
we'll rescue the crew, then learn of this Janeway that died a heroic death.
Chainway's like, little did you know, I too could turn into a car.
There it is. Her pretender shell flies off and she's been a Decepticon the whole time.
No, it was that Model T they found in space that was actually.
Yeah. I'll have that be Ironhide. There, that's an episode right there. They find the fucking Amelia Earhart Ford Model T and it's Ironhide. He fell off the arc.
There's energy in that nebula.
There's Energon in that nebula.
Well then.
Right. Okay. So yeah, we are. What are we doing next? Some stuff, some different leads.
I think we're done with the recap.
The
So yes,
ramble.
you are on the planet. Who remembers the planet name for a shiny experience point?
The planet name is Hylia Centralia.
Perfect. I didn't remember that, and there's no such thing as XP in this game. Helios Centralia.
Okay,
Yeah.
we all know I can't speak, Devin. Let's not.
Central because
All those
everybody,
years of French nobility inbreeding.
because everybody names their planet, the one thing, the center of the universe.
Yeah, I know. That was great.
Yeah, it's an amusing bit.
Yeah. Everyone fucking done it. Yeah, so you're on Helios Centralia. There are 3 groups of civilizations on this planet. The Barons, the Laborers, and the Oracles. There are huge class problems going on. There is a plague affecting the planet. And the Star League, the sort of galactic arm you guys have ran into before, has put this planet on a level 0 quarantine. Any ship trying to leave is shot down. Anyone trying to leave is exterminated. There's a fleet in orbit. Commanded by a fellow Autobot, depth charge on his reclaimed Decepticon warship, the Dark Side.
Do Autobots sleep?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you guys can just sleep.
Power down.
No, but I meant do we run on, an 8-hour sleep cycle, or do we just can we sleep if we choose to? Kind of?
If you get tired enough, you have to take a rest.
Okay. I didn't know what level of.
Fidelity with World War I soldiers. You're basically, if you're soldiers, you're basically always on stims, being awake.
Yeah.
Let the meth settle in.
There you go.
World War I style.
Coffee and hedgehog.
Yeah. So yeah, we were on day 4. So, we pan down to what, the CDC lab you guys have set up base camp in?
Yep.
Sure. Pan down, screen scrolls by an Energon script, then translates to English like this is a TV show. Day 4. Deaths this day, 26. Total dead, 126. Infected, 552. And then it ticks up slowly as it fades off. So, day 4. You've all met up. The news is in the background on the screen, and it's being translated for you all. A alien reporter is reporting on the crisis, so that is the quarantine. The infection rate is increasing. There are protests going on across various city centers on this continent. Various barren celebrities are being brought on to talk about it, quell the masses. Some of them are being inflammatory and are being very this is just the mistake of bringing in the Oracle government to uplift us. There's street interviews with protesting laborers that get real in their face. There's a family at a funeral, and the reporters are just getting right up in their face across the line to get a first reaction from them. It's real tactless. But they have a 24-hour news cycle.
Okay.
So, know, should jack him up, blow up all the TV stations.
Yeah, you're gonna blow up their World Trade Center, jack them up.
That strikes me as being something that might potentially.
There's the CN tower.
That increase the threat level.
Not now.
Maybe just the Fox News equivalent.
There are scenes of those patrol cars in the background driving up a protest and going into their Ed 209 walker mode and like dispersing the crowd. You know, so people in riot gear or cyberpunk riot gear in the background, like moving the crowd along and stuff.
Well, this is getting ugly.
Yeah, I don't like how this is going.
No, this whole thing has a distinct air of late autocracy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was late autocracy before even that started.
Yeah, this seems like a normal news day for them. Like they're just flicking through whatever's popular at the time news-wise, like troubles in other countries, various wars, civil war outbreaks, military going against civilians. It's just cycling through it.
But look, this whole thing with the labor case to get all being the only ones getting sick, and the whole weird thing with this quarantine with only something like 600 or something people getting it. That whole thing don't sit right with me. Don't make much sense.
Agreed.
I just figured who's what's the angle on this one? Who's trying to make some money?
Could be anyone. Because this thing could be used by any party to further their political beliefs.
Although a populous lower class is always harder to control than one that's dying.
Thanks, Cybertron.
What's your take?
Yeah, someone might. Yeah, Peter's or Vider's right. Someone might be trying to profit off this, but who? Anyone could.
Yep.
We gotta keep an eye out for Waspinator. I'm feeling that his mitts are in this.
As you say that, the lights in the CDC flicker like a slow kind of brownout, and then it's back up and running. That's happened a few times in the last 2 days. And if you're looking at screens outside, some of the buildings outside, like not all of them, but some of them also do that brownout flicker.
Is that a regular issue around here? I asked one of the doctors. Or
Sure. What was the name of that?
Andre?
Pardon?
Andre?
Andre. They. Yes, it's been coming up in regular frequency. There seems to be something wrong with the power distribution in the system. The city wasn't really built for it, and they're having to cut into underlayers.
so they've been doing a lot of deep digging.
Retrofitting. There's city layers under this one that they have to break into and uninter.
We should go check that out.
Yeah, it's risky though.
I know something's not right with the power here.
Well, probably what's wrong is people that actually operate those power plants getting sick.
Yeah, it does seem to me that.
That seems to be the outbreak zones.
Is there any area that was being dug into very heavily right over when the outbreak started?
You are able to get like a news dossier basically, or like an update. The capital city on this continent, one of the other capitals basically, had just broke new ground on their new Naquita generator. They had to pull up the current city in the area and older sub-cities that existed beforehand because you're starting to pick up from the history of this planet that they've gone through a few apocalypses that aren't well documented. And yeah, they're pulling out older civilization parts and trying to like dig in and try to build like a power plant network around the whole city. The way they distribute Naquita energy is not normal if any of you are engineers. So normally a power plant runs power in one place and runs the energy through like a conductor to substations and stuff, and they have capacitors and whatnot.
They run multiple power plants.
Yes, but also the lines themselves have infused energon in them. Like, instead of just being a steam generator that, generates electricity and then runs electricity, they're generating Naquita, which becomes basically raw energon, and they're pumping the energon through lines throughout the city. It's like if you were to run an antimatter reactor, and instead of just having the energy go to the rest of the ship, they're just running the antimatter all across the ship.
So it's like pumping gas.
Yeah, they're just pumping gas, natural gas, throughout the entire city, instead of just pumping the energy.
Which is insanely dangerous.
That'll end well.
Super inefficient too. Like you're just looking at it, it's just bad. And the whole planet's wired like this. And it's worse because it's energon enriched by this naquita substance, and it's incredibly unstable.
Yeah, this. Wow.
So this is a literal and a figurative powder keg.
Okay,
Yeah.
so who designed the plants, or is there like a company behind them, or is there?
There are several private companies that run the power plant system. The designs are instituted by the oracles, who bring it down from what they call standard SUT, standard universal templates that come from the Starleague.
Strange.
But wait, the oracles are enforcing how this is set up?
They're the
They
ones who
enforce
run the
everything
tech.
about this planet,
But-
basically.
This planet just started joining with the Starleague
100 years ago.
Oh, 100 years ago? Okay, yeah.
That makes me think, and the enclaves are all with those guys. They're separate from the capital cities and stuff like that, right?
Enclaves?
Or no, they're powered by the same stuff, so they would have the same issue. If they go, the whole thing goes. They go too.
Yeah.
If you were to dive a bit into the public oracle information about the power system, it is built in such a way to have it's built to be like a technology platform for future advancements. Any line can now be tapped and turned into an Aqua-powered piece of tech of civic infrastructure. So they're looking at expanding it to point-to-point teleporters, FTL refueling sites, new space elevators.
Well, they're using something like of higher tech level than this planet is built for, so they're just jumping them,
Yeah,
I suppose.
they're
which-
jumping them so they're a good resource for the Starleague.
Which I guess is a smart thing to do. We don't lay wires when we have, wireless communications.
Yeah, but the wires that they're laying down are basically debt cord.
Yeah. Also, probably not properly shielded if you know anything about energon.
Yeah.
And given that we got these these issues came up with the right around the time that they started installing stuff around the power plants, and organics sometimes don't work too well with Cybertron tech.
Are we guessing that this virus will spread through the power lines and affect everything? Is that what we're getting at?
Well, there's got to be some way one of you sciencey people can test that hypothesis. Look, don't look at me.
True.
I'm just a
Yeah.
guy who runs around hissing to the back.
Yeah, we can look into it.
Because if there's high outbreaks around Aquata plants, what if, the power lines themselves will be also problematic?
Yeah.
If everything's, covered in energon, after something goes haywire and explodes, then everything will be, ground zero for the virus.
We can overlay the map of the Naquita flow through the city with the outbreaks, and
Let's
see
see
if
what it is.
there's correlations along those lines.
Or
We know that they congregate at the epicenters.
Good old Amble.
Sounds like a look closely.
we could always try experimenting as well, so we have some samples of infected people. So I guess
we could
you
do both, and that would be giving me
Yeah.
help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do it, roll it.
Do you want me to?
So they have hope. Roll it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so what are the two things you're doing? You're overlaying the map and you're doing what with sick people?
Like testing whether the virus has affinity with energon, whether the
Yeah.
transmission.
Like basically taking a cup of energon, sort of, and
Alright. What'd you get to look closely?
I got 12.
Okay, so throw it at me.
Okay.
Is there a correlation between?
Yeah. Is there a correlation between the Naquita pipelines and people getting sick?
Not directly. You're looking at the overlay, you're looking at the Naquita energy, and you're looking at your energon. I presumably you use the two to kind of check. Now you're really looking at the Naquita they're supplying and the sick people. There's something wrong with this Naquita.
What's wrong with that?
The energon is tainted. It looks like it has the equivalent of self-building nanites in it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the nanites are basically feeding off the energon and attacking the Nakoda and like doing damage to the inside of it.
I had a really bad thought.
Go ahead.
Do you remember that little scuffle we got into with Waspinator a while back? And that whole thing that went on?
Yep.
I stole a couple things from him when we tussled. And put him, I think they're in the science bay. You don't think that the weird kind of Cybertronian biological morphing stuff he's doing is as infected the Akba?
That's possible.
They're digging very deeply into this planet, and that stuff that was all surrounding Waspinator was pretty invasive.
It's possible.
Well, the stuff we had last time was organic, and this seems to be nanotechnology. So either someone dug something up in the old deeps of this planet that was some sort of energon-based, grey goo scenario.
Do you like call in someone from the ship to bring you that sample?
Yeah.
You have your ground bridge now that you've
Yeah,
taken that
yeah.
talent?
Yeah.
Alright, so you click away on yourself, a wormhole blows open in front of you guys, and Osiris walks out in his little power armor.
He's in like a full hazmat suit.
Yeah,
by the way.
he's in the suit from Final Space for Avocado.
Yeah.
He just kind of walks up with the energon cubes to give to you guys.
He goes back through the portal. So
Back
he
through the
doesn't
ground
get
bridge.
Decontamination.
sick. Yeah. Thank you.
Alright, so that's one question. What's your next question now that you got the energon sample?
I guess let's figure out more about these nanotechs.
What can you tell us about
The nanites, what are they doing? What will they do next?
Amble?
Yeah, what can you tell us about the nanotechnology? What will it do next?
So you were looking for nanotechnology because you're looking for dumb technology. Now that you're looking closer at it and you're comparing it to the energy, the energon sample that you took from Jackamup, it's Waspinator's antibodies.
So
His antibodies are infesting this energon.
you got a call on your comms.
Okay. Yeah.
Called it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sitting right next to you when I do
Yeah.
this. It's
Yeah.
just-
No. My character's like, no. I agree with you. This is why I placed strict. I said I worried that these could infect us or could, like, there's, yeah.
The antibodies are sickly and they're hybridized because he's using a pretender shell. So they're kind of dying in the power line, but they're in there and they're trying to feed off the material and the energy to replicate, but they can't.
Also,
Or they're not doing very well.
I don't know if he suspects anything, but it does also explain why Depth Charge was very gung ho for this quarantine. The idea of a completely insane Cybertronian.
An unknown, Cybertronian virus.
Can we figure out the half-life of the nanites?
In what context?
Well,
How quickly will they die off if we turn the power off, I guess?
no. I mean, they're not eating off the energon and the Nakoda very well, so they're slowly dying. And this outbreak is currently somewhat regionally located, which means if it is related to Waspinator, then it has an origin source. And if we can trace how long it takes them to decay, we can basically flow upriver until we find that origin source.
Well, it's got to be one of these ancient ruin things, right? This is the part they were digging when this problem started happening.
Or he plugged himself in somewhere.
Or he's being
Could be hiding in one. I don't know.
imprisoned somewhere.
I doubt he's imprisoned. I would find that hard to believe just based on his capabilities.
I mean,
Could be, though.
how did he end up getting here? Did he get detected fleeing to the planet, or did he get blown onto the planet?
Depth Charge was chasing him.
Yeah.
That's the story you got. He chased him here.
And I don't see any bigger fish around here than a Waspinator, so...
Now it's funny you should mention that as another brownout hits the building. Because the news has been talking about stuff in the background, as you've been chatting about the sea levels getting hotter, about radiation off the coast. I'm just gonna pause for. And we're back. So part one probably sounds a little weird, listener, just because the gain was fucked. I probably fixed it in post. Don't worry about it. Anyway, So you all turn attention to the screens as another brownout happens as it is off the coast of this continent, pretty near where this capital city is because there's inland rivers and whatnot, as the reporter is frantically reporting on something appearing out of the water. A creature 4 to 5 times the size of you guys starts bursting out of the water as it's bubbling, boiling, and steaming, and the rock itself turning to magma.
Swear to God.
As, they're confirming that a Titan has emerged for the first time in centuries.
Oh, well,
Because I was warning you guys about this, and you tripped the friction on the scale for this to happen.
that ain't good.
It is reptilian in nature, multiple heads, it looks like it's mutated somewhat. It has hard-backed, turtle-like plating, and, large nodules all over its underside body that are just pulsing with red fire.
So, you said for the first time in centuries. Does that mean that there's prior record of these guys?
Yes, but very far back, last few civilization attempts.
It's okay, guys. We need to get bigger robots and go in there in pairs.
Right?
We'll call them Jaegers.
But you're a little taken off guard. You'll need a history lesson later. They were far back enough that most records say that this was probably a myth or a sort of morality play or a metaphor
Okay.
for
So-
nature.
What's our goal here? Kill it?
Well, let's double check whether it's a bad thing. Probably is. I guess we should be heroes.
It's
once
breathing fire on the coastal city.
Well,
It would,
I guess that's confirmed then.
to be fair, it would totally make sense to have one person. No, it's just looking for a home, or something like that.
It's embodying the planet. You can't stop nature. Let's just shoot it down, I guess.
You have our required idiotic Dear Doctor / Godzilla moment.
Right?
Well, the question is whether or not it's sentient.
Well, I mean, we can talk with it if it's sentient.
Yeah, that's true.
But maybe keeping it from, I don't know, melting the people we're trying to help is kind of a pretty high on the priority
Well,
list.
As you guys are watching, it's heading towards basically one of the substations and starting to dig into it and tear out the energon pipes and start to chew into
The
it.
generator's under attack!
I mean,
Like it's feeding off of it.
if this thing gets infected and dies, that's...
Well, it probably get infected and then bloated with all the nanites and so on, combining with its nature. Things will change,
could be
so...
bad. Yeah, it could be bad.
deal
We'll
with
try to talk to this thing, and then we'll kill it, because it probably needs to be.
So this was a threat you triggered earlier at level 2. A Titan threat will activate and cause problems.
Okay.
Well, time to roll out.
Okay, I'll pop into ambulance form and yell out for the no-seas to jump on in. Put my siren on top.
No.
Alright. It's going to take some time for you to get to this location. Because it's not quite central. It came from the outskirts of the continent.
Yeah.
So you guys are going at full speed?
Oh, yeah?
Suppose.
Alright. Time will pass. By the time you get there, it has moved further inland from that city and is basically on a direct course towards your capital city.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's knocking out substations along the way and feeding off of it. And it's still its scales are falling off and new ones are growing underneath. It's covered in keloid scars and just molten material is pouring out of it and splashing on the ground.
I would say the creature's what I suspect the creature's name is, but I don't want to get flagged by Tojo.
Right?
Well, Rover, organics, how many big things feed off of energon and survive? What's your read on this?
I don't know, what is my read on this?
Command law.
Oh, there you go, Command Lore.
It's your specialty.
Yeah, not many organics live off of energon. However, yeah, large Titan-like things can, and they're normally... I normally try and avoid those ones. once tried to get a baby one a long time ago, and Captain wasn't too pleased with me when that thing was on the ship. Had to jettison it, pretty quickly. That was, yeah.
Cold.
Well, obviously, it would outgrow the ship and eat it eventually.
Yeah.
Also, the captain found it really annoying, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
There's puking organic matter all over the deck.
Yeah.
So how do we take it down?
Hit it hard and hit it a lot.
Go for the glowing spots. Go for the inside.
Go for anything, yeah.
Well, I
Check
got
him up. If you want to die, you can just jump in.
Remember you wanted to die?
There you go.
hey, that's supposed to be off camera. Yeah. I got bad news and good news. Bad news is, I do not think we'll be able to capture that and have that to your collection. The good news is, I don't think I can accidentally kill it by stepping.
That's fair. Yeah. No, they're way too hard to handle, I think. Although now we can speak to them. Never tried speaking to them before. So.
Well, we are obliged to give this a try. So
Yeah.
lead on, almighty expert.
All right, so you guys transform and get into your
Get
humanoid
into
forms.
ready, and
So remember,
we.
there are on and off ramps all around you. There are skyscrapers all around you. This is a dense city full of people and collateral damage, and this thing's just walking right through and melting through the structures.
We knock ma mini bar.
You need to work on your accent.
All right, remember you're a quarter its size.
Yes, I'm yelling and jumping.
It doesn't look like it's acknowledging you, and it's just moving on through towards the next power station.
Does it look like it's not acknowledging us because it's choosing not to listen, or because it's incapable of listening?
What are you guys looking for here with a move? What can you kind of throw at me?
I can reveal the way and tell it what to do.
All right, how is that going to work?
I'm going to tell him what's best for it and mean it. And I think the best thing for it to do is stop what it's doing, retreat from civilization before we go to town.
Okay, give it a try.
Uh, 11.
Okay,
So they will do as I say with hope, which we still haven't figured out how that works.
I know, right? I remember if you gave an NPC despair, I think they automatically detonate or something.
Like they can't do anything in despair,
Yeah.
except the threat to the worlds or generals and stuff like that. So, which means the important ones.
Yeah. All right, so you just kind of walk up on a building. You're like, whoa, whoa.
Yeah. Well, what I do is I transform into my beast mode, which I now have.
What does it look like?
It's large and simian, just kind of like a big robotic ape with
Truck, not monkey.
You've downgraded.
And then I climb up on top of a building and I use my lantern to project an image of me that's equal in size and stature to this thing out into the air, and then blast through my siren megaphones. Whoa, buddy, go no further.
It's like heads coming off the side of its neck and body are like squawking at you or like roaring.
You don't want to go down this path. It's not going to end well for you. Just go back into the ocean.
It sees that you're bigger than it and have clearly you're kind of like, guarding the territory. So it starts to like kind of move perpendicular to you or like parallel to you, and then starts to turn around and like cut a different swath of destruction back to the coast.
I mean, yay?
I suppose that solves the problem for now. Does someone follow it and figure out if
There's like gill slots going down its head to its neck to like its torso, and they're like opening up and they're just spraying molten blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it's half steam, half boiling metal basically, and it's just hitting buildings and starting to like damage them.
So,
It's staggering a bit and like having problems like keeping
It's
balance, but it's still moving.
not doing well. We should put it. If there's one thing I've learned from organics is you put them out of their misery quickly.
We should do it We should do it in the ocean, away from the habitation.
That's a good idea. Yeah. We'll,
Destroy those cargo
follow.
containers.
We'll follow
Cargo
this thing.
people.
To,
How about we go ahead of it? And
yeah, we'll
clear
go.
people.
We'll go. You guys clear people. I'm going to set some traps.
Actually, I was just about to say something like that.
Yeah.
Why don't you two go on clearing people and we'll do the trap thing?
Yeah. Make sure you're seen by the cameras. We want to get on this world's good side. Do lots of saving and rescuing.
Don't worry, I brought my own.
There we go.
Remember, guys, the shield source camera.
Yeah. So that's our game plan there.
All right. So around the table, who's going first?
I'm gonna transform out of beast mode back into ambulance form. The no-seas are gonna clown car back inside. And then we're gonna set off down the streets, sirens blaring, telling people to get inside, get away. Yeah, and actually need to speak softly to give them an order.
Speak softly for conversations. Talks.
Yeah.
No, but he specifically
I have,
cannot.
I have speak
yeah.
clearly, which lets me speak softly to a crowd and give them orders.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that to compel them all to take shelter in basements. And, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So you go up to crowds, and people start listening and filing off to areas outside of the path of destruction or outside of the city.
Yeah. That's what I'm up to. I'm clearing the way.
Well, I transform into my spider form and just fly up in front of it and pick people off that are staggers. So move
Okay.
them gently away.
All right. It's about to move through a. It's about to go directly through a population building. That's the cut.
I'm sure that overcome.
Is it just staggering along pretty much blindly?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to project a bridge in front of it that lifts it up and over the building. Yeah.
Rainbow Bridge.
Hooray. Click on the cyborg. Alright, so you project a rainbow bridge. Does that cost you anything?
Yeah, it's like a spell.
Yes.
Resources. Oh.
Alright, it starts climbing up the scaffolding you build for it and goes over the population center.
What's up? So, trap layers.
Yeah. I have a dart trap. I mean, I don't know how many traps I can lay, but can I lay as many as I have?
Yeah, you remember, you don't lay
But
them
it-
ahead of time. You spend them as if you've already laid them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You just have to have reasonable
So-
time.
Yeah.
You do.
So, I'm gonna lay a bunch of traps, which means I can spend them if I need them.
Yeah.
But I have dart traps, I have bear traps, and I have explosive traps.
Alright,
That
jack
I
them up.
laid.
Transformer bear traps. The side of cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, gravity snares.
Yeah.
Did you come up?
Actually, looking at this one, I'm going to. I think I'm going to go pick a fight. So yeah. Well, giant guy. So Jack 'em Up is going to. He sort of looks over at his overhands, looks back at the thing, looks down at his hands, looks over the thing, and then he goes and sees off to the side, and he sees a construction crane.
Sure.
So he's going to go head over there, and he's going to maneuver the thing to try and get the thing's attention.
Okay.
And he's going to try, using that construction crane, he's going to try and keep him busy.
We want this thing to keep moving into the ocean, don't we?
Yep.
No, we're going to lead to the traps.
Yeah, but the traps are
By the ocean. on
by
the
the
beach.
ocean, because we want to kill him where there's the least civilization.
Yeah, that's fine. We can.
Okay.
I can do
The
something.
crane's on the beach.
There you go.
So
Yeah,
dog
yeah.
cranes.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why
there
not?
you go. Yeah.
Those giraffes.
Angel Grove's abandoned warehouse dock edition.
I have stuff I can do to try and.
Okay.
Do it.
Go for it.
So that would be an 8.
Hey, not
Keep them
double
busy.
ones.
They will retaliate against you.
Of course they will. So I'm going to activate though. I am using hold them back.
Ooh. What does that do?
If I successfully keep them busy by grabbing them, pinning them, catching them, or holding them, you grab them. So temporarily I can hold them. I'm presuming obviously it would not be very long, obviously.
Sure.
But when I release that, first off I'm going to get a sting like a bee. So sting like a bee.
What does that do?
Oh boy.
He's going to chase me around, and we both leave the scene. It's basically going to be me.
All right, you grab his attention.
So, but also I'm going to use the, what's it called? I get to sting him once, and
What are its stats? Paste it in the Discord or something.
yeah, I don't know what its stats are.
Oh boy.
Orphanage inside of it, full of baby turtles, and it's a mother just feeding its young. Moral
Goody.
choices.
I get to pick some some new things to dissect.
Something Mandalorian. The egg. No.
I know, right? I love that Mandalorian. Those
So-
little Jawas.
Hold them back when I release it. I will gain advantage, but also I can end the grab at any time to do one of the followings, and I'm going to choose throw them to the ground, and that's they land prone right where I want them.
Sure.
So I'm going to lead them to wherever. Basically, I'm going to use
Your
the
kill zone.
Yeah, we're going to go to the kill zone with that, and then he's going to chase me for the rest of
All
it.
right, you whip the crane around and get it to go off, off balance, and it slams into this thing and throws it, into the bay more.
Yep, and then I'll basically just sort of fire a slingshot at it and give him the finger, and then he just sort of runs off and with this one chasing him for a while.
All right. This thing's pissed. It's getting up. Its mouth is starting to breathe fire on the ground around it, which are just plasma.
You didn't damage any of its stats?
No, because I had to choose options
Oh, okay.
that were.
But
Well,
now
you can trigger the
we
traps.
can now use
the traps, because we're getting it.
So I have a floating hard cut from the danger level you guys have raised, and I'm going to use that hard cut for it to hit you while it's going down with its breath weapon.
Okay.
So take 2, burning dangerous.
Lordy.
I can use a trap to set up and finish them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that what it says
Well,
on the trap?
Do whatever it
Well,
is.
I want to set up and finish them so I can actually damage him. I'm just trying to
What
figure
does
out
your
what.
trap say?
So yeah, it's
Trap. Anyone
mouths
hit
get
by it
open.
becomes sluggish, tired, and everyone gets hope to deal with them.
Ah,
See, that's what it does.
that's
And
different.
theoretically, because I kept it busy, we should have advantage on it right now. The question is, can you narratively justify a way
Finish them.
To finish them?
to damage something that big?
Oh, I kind of can. Depends. Okay, well, hear me out. So I'm going to,
Use your sleeping darts.
because we were ready, and assuming we had communicated
Yeah.
what your game plan was. So
The good
all
news,
my-
I got him chasing me. The bad news, there's a giant monster chasing me!
Perfect. He's coming right towards me. I'm ready for him. So all my traps are set up. I'm ready. And I see that he's totally focused on you, so I don't need to use a trap right now. And I'm going to pull out from my bag this sword. You guys haven't seen me use a sword before? Because you've only seen me use a gun. Looking at this thing, it is not right. It is far too eerily similar to all the messed up crap that Waspinator looks like. Like, I'm clearly fucking with things behind your guys' back to have this sword.
Who makes a sword out of meat?
Yeah.
Like, it's terrifying looking, and it's big. And I'm just gonna jump off of a building, coming down, and I'm like, I know where weak spots are on organics, and go right for, like, its throat. And just try and, like, slice and, like, slide down, cutting this thing like butter.
That sounds like finish them.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said I get hope because
You
it's
have hope
chasing
and
you?
advantage.
Perfect. So I
Hey,
get
yeah,
hope.
before that happens, it blasts you with its multiple heads in like concentrated beams of plasma.
I've taken my 2 damage.
And you're on fire, and it did a bunch of damage in the area.
What's advantage means I can finish them. Hope means I get the extra dice. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. Sorry. Come on. And I'm using. What am I using to finish them?
Sounds like blood.
It sounds like a murder.
That sounds like blood. That's my worst stat. Okay, so I have a 9.
So you damage them.
So I do damage.
So which stat would you like to
Crushing
damage?
blow,
Oh.
wildfire, or like flies.
I have necrotic and piercing on this weapon.
So you can't pick a stat.
So I can pick 2, I believe.
No,
Because
necrotic means they're in despair. Which, unless they're a threat to the world, aren't they a threat to the world?
Yes. No.
Oh, yeah. It's just
No,
a
necrotic
Titan.
damage is marked twice.
It's just a Titan.
Yes, but for
Oh, the first can't be filled. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
that's for healing. But
Okay.
on NPCs, if they are hit with necrotic, they're in despair, which means they cannot harm
okay.
anyone.
So
and
yeah,
on.
so I will pick its crushing blow because I don't want it doing 2 damage to us every
It's
time.
so good. I was
So
trying to kill Giacomo.
so yeah, I'm gonna nope that away with my sword.
Alright, and because you gave it despair with or necrotic or whatever, it falls to the ground grievously wounded, not really moving.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I just put the sword away, like carefully, trying not to, just pretending none of you saw it. Just
Its gore is spraying everywhere and like igniting things.
Oh.
It's like yeah. So
At
debating.
least you're on the beach though, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's still getting into the ocean.
It's a napalm on top of the floating
Yeah, it's
water. It
basically
spreads
napalm.
everywhere.
Hell, if you saw Shin Godzilla, that thing was bleeding all the time from all its orifices. It was sick.
So, and just to make sure, basically, then the next shot is
You're on fire.
yeah, jack him up driving a big chemical truck towards the
the open wound.
open wound. Don't worry, guys, I got this.
You can do it.
Anyone else shoot anything?
Yeah, I'm going to reconfigure my lantern light and scan Giacomo and heal one of his damage.
Well, that's good.
Hooray.
I think that just gets rid of burning, doesn't it?
Well, burning, you have to just basically take an action to stop.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess for the burning,
Narratively,
since this is a part of the natural world, I'll just say power word stop to seize all the fire.
it's not part of the natural world that he is burning. It's part of him being attacked. Also, there's nothing natural about what's going on.
It's like radioactive nanite doom stuff.
We should quarantine this area. Maybe it might be more valuable to keep this alive for now. Study it.
Yeah, we can try and pin it in some way. Yeah.
Use your traps, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you have a trap that traps things?
I have a bear trap, yes.
What does it do? What does it
Immobilizes one enemy.
actually- I
That
guess.
sounds like exactly what we wanted to do.
Right? So you activate your gravity snares.
Yeah.
Whoa, 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 whoa. They just start holding this thing in place.
I guess I should probably stop being on fire.
Go into the water, live there, die.
I'm not totally crazy.
I
We're on
mean-
a beach, right?
Yeah.
Well, there is a beach there, yeah. So no.
What's worse for a Cybertronian, fire or water?
Water is much worse.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
just
Roll around in the sand.
Yeah, roll around in the sand.
I'm actually gonna use my. I have so much gear here. I should use at least one of them.
That's fair.
I'm gonna use a vial of a bottle of elven wine, which I assume for this game would be healing,
Good energy.
nanite, something.
Just good energy.
Yeah. Okay.
Or good oil, you know. One or
Fancy
two.
it.
Oil and energon are what people drink or bathe with.
Utterly non-natural synthetic oil.
Right?
Nothing's better for a fire. Oh wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly. It's non-flammable oil, like non-flammable helium.
It's essential mineral oil.
Essential oils. Quick, get more crystals.
Anyway, the creature is contained.
Okay.
That threat ends. It's on the ground making noise, pinned down by the gravity snares and the machinery you guys threw onto it.
Well, hopefully that was a good thing to do.
Should we go investigate?
Emergency crews are showing up.
Yeah.
News is there.
Yeah.
Maybe clear non-essential people from this area. I can't imagine this stuff is good for
Anything?
anything. You would not believe how much pain I am in right now.
Yeah. We'll investigate. You guys keep crews back.
Yeah, Jack 'em up will also kind of mug for the cameras and.
Yeah, they're recording you. They're not giving you interviews because they don't speak your language. Like I know you two do, but they're not talking to you, but they're recording what's going on. It's basically a lot of low camera shots of giant robots fighting a giant Godzilla. It looks crazy.
Right? This is awesome.
Someone should make a movie out of this.
Jack him up is
You should
just
make a religion out of this.
it's just like he's in too much pain and is too like fame obsessed to like recognize the fact that no one understands what he's saying. So he's giving like an account of the battle that like no one will.
So you know Shin Godzilla, right? That was the one that Hideki Anno did, the guy who did Evangelion. It was very good. It's the first live action Godzilla in like 15 years.
Yeah.
He's doing a live action Ultraman, and it looks creepy. Like one of the stills from it is just a Japanese like beachfront metropolis city, and square in the middle of it is just a giant man in the Ultraman costume, and it is unsettling because it looks really real. Like it doesn't look as cute as it does in like the 80s and 70s when it's clearly a man in a suit around cardboard buildings. No, it looks wrong.
I should imagine they
It
just
looks like aliens showed up and you're like, oh god. like if Cthulhu were to walk around and stuff, it kind of gives off that vibe, but just a man in silver and red.
played by The Rock.
Neat.
And it has like that weird head with the bug eyes on it, so it's just, you know, it's like some elder thing walks among us.
Huh.
Yeah, emergency crews are here. People are attending to the dead and the wounded, trying to like, you know, clear up debris. Utility systems are here to try to restore power.
Yeah, well, we'll help to get it contained and get that call it a day, I suppose.
Well, we wade into the area where it's trapped and start taking samples and readings.
Do it.
Yeah.
I'll
Look
do
closely.
the last one if you want to roll this
Sure.
one.
I'll roll up closely, and I assume you're helping me?
Yeah.
Perfect. Oof. That still gets wisdom, though, so that's a 9.
Alright, what do I got?
Yeah, we're digging over these samples.
Find one also the hard way.
Really checking this thing out. So I get to ask 3 questions on the list, and I find one of those answers the hard way.
Alright, throw me the questions, I'll throw you the answers.
It's dangerous to us.
Yes.
Does this thing look like it was infected by the same virus as
The laborer.
the laborers? Or is it suffering? Because it's clearly suffering from something before it came up here. Or is it suffering from something else?
Okay, what's the next question?
Well, kind of depends on the answer to that.
This is ready to be dangerous.
Does... Well, here, you ask. You go.
Sure. Can we tell? Well, I guess we kind of know what it wants. It wanted to eat Energon.
Yeah.
Or wanted to destroy the planets.
What would happen if we fed it more energy on?
Will it heal us, presumably?
Can we figure out what woke it up?
Okay, and the third question?
As I say, it kind of depends on the answers to the first 2.
Does this have anything to do with Waspinator?
Yeah, let's see if we can
Super
find
vague.
Well-
traces of the same nanites.
Yeah, does it have any of those nanites on it?
Okay, so, what was the first question again, just to remind me?
First question was what is the infection it has? Is it the same infection that all the laborers are, or
Yeah,
yes, okay.
it has the laborer sickness.
Has the laborer's sickness. So
And Tyler's question was, what caused it to rise up or whatever?
Yeah.
Yep.
What
yeah,
woke
what
it up?
woke it up?
It is suffering significant, it looks like chemical damage to its body, almost as if the water in the environment it's in has become acidic.
Okay.
Which, if you remember from last session, this planet is terraforming itself to be pollution heavy and boiling away its seas.
Yeah. So this thing's pissed off.
And the third question was,
Does it have any nanites
no.
in it? No. Okay.
So the hard way is you guys are examining this thing and looking at the damage. It just ripped apart through here and bleeding everywhere, and yeah, it was infected with the laborer sickness.
Okay.
Okay, so I will
So-
make very clear once that gets calmed over that people need to leave, and basically, I'll get. No way. Hey, we gotta get these people. This area needs to be completely
This
quarantined.
whole area, this whole area needs to be quarantined immediately. I'm going to. How?
Just
We could call them-
quarantine.
Yeah.
We could radio Mega Blast and ask about a disintegration. Well,
So we could what?
well, we've got ships. I know that our ships have orbital capable weaponry.
Yeah.
Contact the planetary government, ask if they want to do it, but this area needs to be burned.
Yeah.
We've harmed the local wildlife.
Time to,
Tick.
Well,
Threat
our-
level goes up.
time to blow up this whale.
Well, the other option was the entire city gets blown off, which may
Yeah.
have raised it.
Well,
Oh
then
no, it already happened. Fighting the Titan is the local wildlife.
Oh, okay.
see, if we left it to its own devices, we wouldn't raise the threat level. It's our actions that are really causing the problems.
The writers behind this episode are the same ones for Dear Doctor.
The writer, whoever wrote this episode, should die. So it gains a new location stat.
We need to. Yeah, we need to quarantine this area ASAP. I don't know what the quickest way to do that is, but nobody can leave. We need to stop all those transit.
It says that my light, through flickering and changing color, can relay simple messages. So it's going to start sending out a danger strobe.
Okay. Woo woo. Wah wah. Wah wah. Alright, you're scaring like workers away, but for the most part they're trying to work around you because they're following procedure.
Okay.
I
I can't lie, unfortunately, because I don't speak these guys' language. It's gonna have to be one of.
Can we? How many? Like, this place is a blinking maze. There's no way. I don't care. Downtown city core is not our current issue. Our current issue is the roadways. We can't let anyone leave this city because the infection's just going to keep spreading. Once we quarantine the city, we can let people leave as we check them off.
We need to get the workers out of here. The workers, we need to stop them having moving this stuff.
Yeah, stop them dealing with this.
One of you start doing something, or else I swear I'm gonna pull out a slingshot and make it real obvious, and no one's gonna like that.
No, don't do that.
There's like hell vehicles and stuff coming around, and like there's spotlights on you as you're
Send
around,
off communications.
Okay. Who do we know on this planet that can...
Or just start talking to the people here.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna just start talking to people here, because I can speak their language. And be like, hey, back off. This area is under quarantine now. Like, go back to your homes, wait for further instructions.
Give me an overcome with like wisdom or social or whatever the chat
Wisdom?
stats are.
I'm gonna use wisdom. Are you helping me here?
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're talking.
That'll be a 9.
Pay a price, or it's temporary. See, I've got these magic cards. Let me introduce them to you. I got a new Super Nintendo, so you want to go back home.
I'm gonna pay a price by paying one of my ammo, and I'm gonna fire a round into the sky to get everybody's attention. Just like, boom!
Okay.
Back off, go home, this area's under quarantine, wait for further instructions.
Alright. Alright. I'll give it to you without breaking the threat level.
Okay. Now that no one's coming here, Amble, if you stay here, tend any wounded, help people. Maybe,
What do you want to accomplish?
we need to stop the people from leaving the city. We need to shut down the roadways.
We don't really have the authority to do that.
No
We
the
could-
resources.
We need to call. Well, Depth Charge is in charge of the quarantine,
Yeah.
He's in charge of the planetary quarantine.
but he might be able to get the information down. You could talk to the oracles. Who technically runs the city?
The Barons run the city.
City is run by the Baron power establishment, like the establishment of
Yeah.
barons that run it, but they are managed by a coalition of other barons on a national level, who are managed by barons on a continental level, who are ultimately also being advised by
So it's a
oracle
cluster.
counselors. Oh, it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's bad and it's interbred, and the oracles are doing their best to try and pull it apart bit by bit, but...
Look, why don't we just have Death Charge say this area is off limits? I guess we can get him to do that, and then we just take this area and surround it.
Yeah.
We can get a few. We got a few extra people who can keep an eye on things. I know your boys are pretty good at.
I don't want to bring any more of our crew down here because, again, with this, I mean, it's gone over to this creature. I don't know, and it's nanite based from Waspinator. I'm not risking any more quarantine on anything.
No, but we do have some people down here. You got your boys.
The Gnoses? Yeah, I do. But there is the infection.
But they're not
which-
Cybertronian.
What aren't?
No,
No,
no.
Oh, I thought they were.
No,
No, they're robotic.
they're just AIs.
Okay.
They're just learning dogs you picked up. You picked up smart dogs.
That's good. That's good.
They don't have a soul.
What was
There's
I
no
gonna
spark.
say? Yeah, that's fine. We don't need to have sparks.
They do if you want them to be Cybertronian. That's like the one thing you need.
Why do I want them to be Cybertronian?
Because you said you thought they were.
No. I was trying to say that there's the infection, which is infecting the laborers, and now this thing, and then there are the nanites, but they're not the same thing
Okay.
because
Yeah.
because Waspinator's nanites aren't in this thing,
Nope.
but
No.
the infection is.
So the infection and its nanites are different, but the nanites are connected to the infection.
Waspinator.
To Waspinator.
It's Waspinator's antibodies. It's
Okay.
his blood.
Okay, the nanites are connected to Waspinator, but the nanites are not connected to the infection. Sorry, I thought
And
they
The
were.
little overlap in our Venn diagram here
Is-
is the energon.
They're both dealing with Energon. Okay. Yes.
Specifically the Naquita power plants.
Yes.
See, what I'm thinking is that it's something along the lines of like the Waspinator's nanites are affecting the entire lines and giving off a radiation or energy that causes.
Yeah, it could be
Nice.
something.
All this radiation causes viruses.
Yeah.
Because the nanites are pretender shell based, so they're technically organic.
Okay.
And the nanites are his
So-
Cybertronian antibodies, and they're kind of mutated from his pretender shell tech, but they're mechanical.
Yeah. Okay. We need.
They're technically like tiny little sentinels from the Matrix if humans shrunk down to try and get inside his body.
So we got the Gnoses are going to establish a quarantine. Are going to be left here to establish.
Yes,
a
the
quarantine.
three of them will start putting up like barriers and stuff.
Enter here.
And we'll start like the big giant like Brobdingnagian thing. Talk to our contacts at the disease thing. That look, this area needs to be.
Yeah,
quarantined.
I'm.
There's a
I'm
giant,
just going
Reach over to the
outside of the
CDC.
city and like demolishing bridges that connect to the city.
All right, well, who do you contact to establish quarantine of this area? Like, who do you got?
I mean,
You got the one Baron you've met. You can meet some other Barons.
Yeah.
The Baron, you should talk to the Oracle, and I should talk
yeah,
to that doctor.
I'm gonna go talk to the Baron that's in charge of this area. I'm gonna just like.
You're gonna get cut off from contacting the Baron in touch of this area because a different Baron's gonna reach out to you.
Okay, fine. If someone reaches out to me, I'll go talk to them.
Yeah, because this is actually really relevant to what's going on.
Okay.
So who do we want to do first? Barons, oracles, you two?
I'm gonna call that doctor who from the Labor Cast who speaks Cybertronian.
Catherine?
Catherine, thank you very much. And I'm just gonna say, look, I know I don't know what kind of this area needs to be quarantined. If by some miracle laborers are working to come here, they really, really need to not. This area is.
I don't quite have the authority to make that call, but I'll try to keep our laborer staff out of here.
Yeah, I know you can't do.
Just
too
use
much
the
of-
word laborer.
Yeah, I know you can't do too. You don't have a lot of clout, but I know that a lot of people will listen to you.
Mm-hmm. We'll do our best on our end, but we do need some sort of edict to come down from the oracles to establish this.
We're trying to work on that, but it's a real red tape fest.
All right. Peter or Tyler, before we switch over to the Baron.
Yes, Tyler.
I'm just establishing the perimeter with the nosies.
Okay.
So there's not a lot.
And you're going to reach out to the oracles, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll do you right after Ian then. How
Sure.
about that? Is that good with you guys?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Let me switch gears. You get contacted by Depth Charge.
Okay.
Dark side to ground team.
Hello?
Link established. Forwarding you credentials from a local. Head there. Dark
Very well.
side out.
Thank you. Guy never. It's not much of a talker.
Yeah, that's classic Depth Charge.
Okay, I'm gonna.
If you could imagine Depth Charge, because you have Esprit de Cybertron. This is, Disco Lisa.
I just have this idea of just like, I remember a lot of fun conversations with him, and it's just like him and like Depth Charge driving somewhere and literally just Jack him up talking and Depth Charge just sitting there just...
Not killing Jack him up.
Yeah.
Using your Esprit de Cybertron, we cut to the dark side, to the bridge, the dark red and black lit area with Decepticon symbols scratched out everywhere. And Depth Charge sitting in the command seat, hands gripping the panels, staring out into the void of space with a single red mono eye.
Boring conversation anyway.
So yes, you're giving
I'm
coordinates
gonna
nearby.
Book it as fast as I can to these
Okay.
coordinates.
There is basically a service elevator that'll take you in vehicle mode up into one of the towers, up past the cloud line, actually. Until it becomes less of a mechanical tower and more of like an old-style stone and metal temple that looks like it was like raised up brick by brick and brought up above the cloud line. It has weird bunker-like designs to it. Like it looks like it's been reinforced and has old, ancient designs. You recognize what looks like spaceship hull integrated into it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you're brought up, it's one of those large sort of auditorium stadium areas, and a Baron is there. Clearly coded female. They're those bat sapiens, basically.
They were Crow 8.
Crow.
Yeah.
Not bat. Crow. Yeah. Crow sapiens.
Yeah.
Heavily modified with cybernetics, like they all are, but with more kind of decorative armor patterning. Like it looks like almost they tried to turn like a nice suit of armor into cyberware.
Yeah.
With like life support machinery on it. What's her name?
Her name is Anesia.
Perfect, write it down somewhere.
Okay.
And yeah, she'll walk up to a panel and create like a scale hologram to interact with you. You're the knight from the stars.
Yes. And who are you?
I'm Anesia the Last.
Last. What? I'm sorry, I don't fully know this culture yet. What does that mean?
I'm the last Titan Hunter.
Oh. Interesting. So you... Had you fought any of those things before?
I was a child when the last one was killed. I never made it into service.
Do we know what the lifespan of these people is?
Their lifespan is comparable to humans, but the Barons extend their life with leonization technology and cybernetics. So they have a lifespan that's probably in the few centuries before their tech finally gives out on them and they just fall apart. Older Barons from the first wave of colonists had better technology. So they lasted a lot longer before they started dying off.
Interesting. So you said we're speaking on a
You're face-to-face basically.
Oh, we are?
She's using a holomatter avatar.
Oh, to be taller.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, same as the other one.
What he's doing is
To make
smoke.
himself look important.
To be able to talk to you.
That's fair too. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Do you know what these creatures want?
They're the original inhabitants of this world. Or the original alpha predators.
Interesting.
The one you fought, Knifehead.
Oh, okay. It had a name.
It's recorded as one of the few that got away during the initial purge.
doesn't seem. I mean, if there are any left, they're going to be surfacing soon. They don't seem to be liking what's happening to this planet. Their chemical, their organic matter is not reacting well to it.
They fought back against the original colonization when the barons and the laborers were trying to tame this world. It was my order that I was a part of that pushed them back and drove them underground into stasis.
Interesting. Love to learn more about this order. So you're part of some kind of original.
I'm one of the last original colonist lines.
Interesting. So you have a good bit of sway around here, then.
The opposite, I have none.
Really?
I'm a relic. An embarrassment. They considered the Titans mythological, or they reframed them as mythological for political purposes.
What's your take on this plague?
I have no take on it. I've been waiting for the return of the Titans.
Fair.
Our technology has gotten to the point where we cannot defend our world from it. We weren't always decadents. We used to be explorers and scientists.
I thought I could see some interesting relics in your technology, but as you say, I had talked to another Baron recently and just kind of shakes his head like it's a waste, as you say.
We came to this world to escape the Star League. Its hegemony is stifling and all-consuming. They don't colonize worlds; they consume them. They use them.
Well, yes, we've seen that before on another world. It's a waste. So what would you do?
I reached out to you because you seem to be one of the factions that have come from the stars that aren't aligned with Star League.
Correct.
You might be the only people who can help us from what's coming next.
What's coming next?
Knifehead was an infant. He never fully pupated. The ones we drove underground to stasis have been spending that time in stasis, growing and evolving. Draining the planet's radiation. When Knifehead was put underground, it was already grievously injured.
Okay. Well, that's terrifying.
If you have any sway at all among the Oracles or the Star League representatives, I need you to use that influence to reestablish our order and give us the resources we need to fight these things. Our cities aren't built to handle this kind of attack.
I strongly agree. How many? You say you're the last of your order. Do you have any supporters? Anyone you're training?
I'm afforded some amount of sway and reverence because of my age and station, but it's mostly the state caretakes for me. I'm a mascot.
Very well. Yes, I will try and help you out with whatever I can.
It's our power stations.
Yeah, they seem to be feeding off of that.
It draws them out like our old technology used to.
Yes,
Back when we used atomics.
There's things odd with your power stations.
It uses star material.
Yeah.
When we first came here, we had atomic material.
Yes.
They're similar enough to draw the Titans out. They would have stayed dormant for another few centuries, but the massive expansions and terraforming have cracked open their habitats.
Very well. I will see what supplies we can get to you. At the very least, Yeah. What do you need?
Political clout, influence, someone important to back us.
Have you dealt with Baron Orlaith?
Orlaith is a monster.
Agreed.
It's publicly known Orlaith's killed his predecessor.
Interesting.
He just did it in a way that the oracles don't prosecute.
That's good to know. Is there any barons with reasonable power that side with you in some way that you could sway?
Reasonable barons and reasonable power don't come hand in hand.
Is there any baron?
The influence of the oracles in the Star League is ruining our people.
How do I word this? Who's the best to work with? Like, I need someone to... If we back someone, they're gonna win this. We can't... This world is... This plague is going too quickly.
I've seen the reports of this plague. I don't understand the lockdown.
Agreed.
It isn't affecting...
There's something else going on here. And I just want to know... Who should we be backing? What's your take on this?
The laborers are the original people who owned this world before we came.
Interesting. So you disagree with everyone saying that you brought them?
That was revisionist propaganda. The laborers and the barons used to fight side by side to keep this world inhabited when the Titans arose.
So you would work with the laborers?
I don't think you would take me.
Fair. But you would... Are there any... I assume there's not many barons who would agree with you on that standpoint.
There are moderates. But moderation does not make for power.
That's fair. Interesting. Well, you've given me a lot to think on. If you can think of anyone who would have deliberate reason to start a plague among the laborers and how they would do it, or if you can think on anything useful, let me know, and I will try and send you supplies when I can.
Anything helps. And at least I was able to get your ear. I had to pull some strings to get in contact with your Sky Enforcer.
Yes, how did you...
General Grieve used to be a friend.
Ah, very well. I'm friends with General Grieve as well. I'm gonna actually message General Greaves and get him in like a three-way call here quickly.
No, not here.
Okay.
Grieve and I do not speak on that level anymore.
Very well. It might be easier for me to use him to send you some supplies than us directly giving you supplies. Is that reasonable?
I'll leave it to your discretion.
Very well. Thank you.
Thank you for meeting with me, Sky Knight.
Thank you.
Be careful around Knifehead. You'll have to establish a shatter dome around it. She forwards some information to you.
Okay, I'll forward all that information to you guys as well.
You guys get containment schematics for how to keep this thing like locked down and immobile and not moving long term. Like quick schematics on how to build basically a observation unit around it. They're old, but they're functional.
Yeah. But I mean, and also your character would probably really like to see the breakdown process for this thing, given that it's...
Yeah.
So, who will, after like getting this conversation... Oh, wait till you guys finish.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, she gives you your leave, thanks you for coming, and you're sent back down.
Yeah, I'll basically relay you guys the cliff notes of the conversation.
You have a new contact among the barons, and instead of them offering you something, they begged you for help.
Yeah.
More money, more problems.
She's not even offering money.
Well, like, that's the phrase, more money, more problems. It's like someone reached out to you to ask you for help. It's like, oh no, not more help.
Not more GoFundMes.
Okay, we'll pivot quickly from that then to you and the oracles.
Yep.
Alright. So, Viator, you're brought to that central kind of Capitol building in the main city on this continent. So it's that iPod kind of white, glowing tech everywhere. Not a lot of, no symbols or really. Everything kind of just does its own thing and hovers. Mm-hmm. It's all very streamlined. And you want to meet with the oracles.
Yes.
Well, oracles show up from different parts of basically this political structure, like those three main ones who are like ambassadors there, but there's also ones for the city, the continent, disaster relief. You have a crowd that are willing to talk to you in sort of a Senate chamber.
Cool. Well, I guess we go through the whole greeting procedure since they're so high on their...
Yeah. No, yeah, they go through an entire delegation thing to introduce themselves formally, talk to you, greet you, give you a bit of backstory. It takes 2 hours. 2 hours.
Well, it's just like the old Senate.
Yeah, the lead oracles all basically impressed that they are pleased that you've come to meet with them. They understand that your position among them is similar to theirs. That you're a peacekeeper.
Yep.
And they're excited to be able to converse with like such an old creature who's built for diplomacy and peacekeeping.
Yeah. Okay, where to start? I guess we can tell them, we encountered the Titan creature and we've kept it contained for now, but it needs further containment so that it can stop spreading its juices everywhere and destruction, I guess. Go with that. So we have schematics for the containment field for it. It seems to be infected with the plague that's been hurting the laborers, so it's best to keep the area quarantined as well, which may be a problem.
If you can submit to us, and remember they come in threes. Submit to us your findings and a medical breakdown analysis so that we can compare with our notes and we'll be able to approve the process. And they can basically do it faster because you already provided them with the tech you're going to use to contain it. Like, it's already signed off on technology because it's Baron tech.
Yep.
That would have been a whole other thing. It would have taken days to process that. Like if you tried to build something like, well, what about this? What about this? What about that?
Yeah. Have you done a cost?
What about this emergency?
How will this affect the habitat of the
exactly. You gotta do a soil sample.
Yeah. I have to do send the archaeologists first to make sure that there's no.
Don't want to disturb anything.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid you put out the napalm that's on the water and it
It's a natural thing now.
So they will, if they start kind of working on it now based on the data you submit, and let's say in the scene you're in, you can kind of get the data put together, then they can finish the Shatter Dome around this thing in 10 days.
Okay, so day 14.
That's pretty goddamn fast. It's a giant structure around a Godzilla.
I guess.
It's not just putting up a shell. They have to put facilities in there and technology and computers and dissecting labs. They're building a CDC center around it.
That's fair. Okay.
You fucker.
Added to the thing. I mean, again, it's not our world. It's not us, fucking,
that's true.
Trying to deal with this issue. It's, hey, by the way, you guys, the water is on fire. Maybe you should do something about it.
Look into that.
On a scale of 1 to 10, fire water is not a good thing.
We will, of course, have our impromptu barricade set up, I guess.
Yeah, you guys are doing crowd control and stuff, but yeah, they're going to start building around that thing fast.
Well, yeah.
Contingent on getting like a full medical workup they can compare from Amble.
Yep. But speaking of quarantine, we've reviewed the paperwork for the current planetary quarantine, and it seems to have been called prematurely.
Please explain your hypothesis.
Well, this outbreak of the virus has been so far very small and contained to less than 1,000 people. That's really a small number, and I'm not sure why the planetary containment needed to be in place, especially since the virus seems to be contained to one species so far.
Planetary quarantine was approved by Star League representative Depth Charge.
who put it forward, though.
They all kind of look at each other and like communicate because they come in threes, but they're also telepathic.
Yeah.
The Oracle Hegemony.
So everybody. Right?
Oracle and John.
Or is it descriptive, or is it an actual name of an oracle?
They're basically describing all of them. Like they're like,
Yeah.
we did.
Why?
Okay, who proposed it?
An oracle with planetary biostatus clearance.
Okay, which one would that be?
They give you a list.
Okay. Okay, but why was this motion put forward so quickly?
The contagion was deemed to be worthy of a level 0 quarantine by an oracle representative.
Okay. Would any of this start like sound fishy to me or something? Maybe.
It's becoming clear to you that they might not have a concept of deception.
Okay.
So
someone.
if an oracle submitted it and said, this is bad enough that we have to put a level 0 lockdown and kill anyone who leaves the planet, the rest of them might have just believed it.
Well, they work in
Because
yes
they're
or no.
telepathic. Yeah, yes or no, and they're telepathic.
They're like the binars, except they're
little, yeah.
trinary.
A little.
So
They have to be trinary so they can never be in lockdown. You can never have yes and no locking up their decision making. Two will say yes or two will say no, and then they'll always be able to go forward.
So sounds to me like someone killed an oracle, put it on a pretender shell.
Put its face over their face. I'm just imagining Rick from Rick and Morty wearing a jellyfish on his head.
I think you've just discovered a plan.
I'm just a poor person from the woods.
What, just go up to your ship, grab, I don't know, Ecto-2, make him scan one of them, put him in a pretender shell, be like,
Oh, look at me! I'm the Jack 'em Up Oracle. I'm so
Hey.
peaceful and wise.
hey, there's three of us, bada bing! the no-sees because they come in threes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just, if you want to make it really convincing, go up to a tree, cut some moss off, make yourself a beard.
Moss beard.
I've got her off the face.
I need his face! Can I borrow your face? That was a line he
I was
said.
just gonna say, I think he actually said that.
He literally said, can I borrow your face?
We'll need to finish that story time at some point.
Absolutely.
Okay, then I guess I'd like to request the logs maybe of all the parliamentary proceeding to see which oracles sort of put it first, know where it came from, I guess, so I can get down to.
Look closely.
Huzzah!
Which we're using a lot this game. A lot of look closely going on.
Well, sir, we're trying to be close by. So that's a sense. That's an 8. So ask these questions.
As you're talking, by the way, there are brownouts happening in this Parliament building.
Someone
They're picking up also, because a new stat was unlocked called Electrical Mayhem.
Oh no.
Oh, great.
From you guys hurting the natural wildlife.
How do we fix these, by the way?
Oh, they're just facts about the world.
Oh, we can't fix them?
Well, once you kind of back it off by letting the thing go down, the stats start to shut down as to the threats.
Okay. So yes, is there something hidden here out of place?
What'd you get on your roll?
I got an 8. So that's 3 questions, but one I'll find out the hard way.
Alright.
As Waspinator shoots me in the back.
Right? Yeah, Autobot!
So yeah, is there something hidden out of place? If so, what looks suspicious? Let's see. What else should we be asking the oracles? Maybe also like trying to figure out how can we speed things up with the oracles? How can we best navigate their political system to our advantage?
What
So-
both? Yeah.
Yeah.
We could figure why was the quarantine passed and like an answer that's not because someone asked, but I don't think that information might be on hand.
Yeah.
I mean, if we figure out if there's something hidden out of place, we might also get down to why did they want to put in the quarantine in the first place.
And your third question.
Well, that was the third
Oh,
question.
alright.
So yeah, if there's something hidden, why the quarantine was actually put in place by the person that put it in, and how can we cut through the...
Is there something hidden?
Yes.
Okay. Depth charges, the Dark Side's arrival logs have clearly been doctored. He showed up a week before he said he did. In orbit. Before Waspinator came to the planet.
Okay. I don't know.
Interesting.
Next questions.
Could you? Yeah. Tell me.
Okay.
Sorry.
How can we cut through the red tape of the Oracle so as to speed it up to our advantage here?
You basically, to cut through the red tape with the oracles, you're gonna have to roleplay with them more,
Okay.
and that's the hard way, Peter.
Ah.
You can't just roll through it. That's the hard way.
Oh no. And why was the quarantine actually put in place by the person who put it there?
One tri-council, like one group of oracles that were in charge, or like in charge of overseeing these functions, put the request in. Like one specific group.
Okay then.
We talked to those guys? Or those
Are
beings?
they present here?
We also
They are not present.
Oh.
They sent it on behalf of the hegemony.
Well, I guess we'll have to,
Like they're from this planet, but they're not present in this meeting with you.
Okay, well, I guess we'll have to put in the formal request to meet with them ahead of time. Because they like, to have a thing a week in advance or what have you.
Okay. And so something odd about that,
Yep.
they should be in this meeting.
Ah.
Like the census for this meeting says that they should have checked in.
Well, that seems to be a problem. Well, we'll have to go and find them then.
Or you just ask these oracles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So, is there any reason why this particular 3 oracles are missing today?
They did not come in for the meeting.
And I guess they did not give a warning in advance that they'll be missing.
Why would they? They did not come to the meeting.
Fair.
We would know once they were not here.
I suppose that's one way to put it. Okay, looking through my notes. So, I guess other than that, after being here for a while, it seems that this planet is a political powder keg from what we are seeing. And we'd like to let you know ahead of time that the labor class is agitated by the quarantine measurements that have been put in, and probably if there be stricter quarantines during the next family day, a couple weeks from now, if it won't happen, there might be further consequences. So we'd like to propose that some additional steps will be put in place so that backups will be available in case there is a quarantine, that the family day should happen in some regard to ease the tensions.
Baron policy put forward suggests that the family day be terminated. What counter offer would you make in this scenario?
Well, I guess I'll pull on some recordings of those talk some of the laborers who were thinking about studying the revolution or whatever, some dissident talk, saying, well, if the family day will be cancelled, that might be a trigger for a political revolution that will be happening.
Correct. What countermeasures would you put in place?
To avoid.
Like they're saying, okay, the Barons want us to cancel it, so we will.
Okay.
What would you do instead? A or B?
Okay. Well, I'll put in maybe some teleconferencing or some other means of non-direct communication so that they can still talk with their family while avoiding direct contact if the quarantine were to happen later on.
Do you believe this will mollify the labor caste?
Well, it will be less agitating than cancelling the family day outright.
Accepted. There is logic in that.
Yes. It seems that also the virus that we're looking into is agitated by the proximity to the aquatel plants. So I would like to put forward that we should be putting more resources towards screening the laborers in such plants.
Labor population makes up 90% of these plants' workforce. Any increased scrutiny upon traditional labor roles, which exist for sometimes generations in the same plant, would cause undue strain on the process and create day-to-day problems in overhead. Basically, your TSA screening laborers as they're going in and out is going to slow things down. What would you suggest as an alternative?
How long have you established the between like when you can detect the virus and when it starts becoming dangerous?
You haven't yet.
You haven't.
Yeah.
It's a total fucking mystery. You don't even have a way to test for it.
Okay. Well, we could start with random sampling so that the workers aren't checking every day, but every couple days perhaps, to ease the load so that only a fraction of the population gets sampled every time, so that the load is way smaller.
There's logic to this.
Yeah. And also maybe encourage the workers to report if they're feeling the symptoms so that they can self-report and avoid the queues altogether.
And, out of character, you know that you have a symptom list. You actually know
Yes.
what symptoms need to be reported in.
Yeah, the more the insects on the pain, the higher, what do you call it? Which workers were more affected?
High metabolism.
The high metabolism ones, yeah.
So, like, from that, you can extrapolate a symptom list. We just didn't clarify it. You have an abstract thing that is the symptom profile.
Yeah. So your high metabolism organs are starting to ache or something, further screening will be required.
So we have one of the 9 things.
Yep. You need those 9 things to cure it.
I have listed 5 so far. What are the other ones?
Well, you need 9. You only have 1, the symptom profile.
It's posted in chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Quarantine, policy, vaccination, symptoms, vector, treatment, test, transmission, prevention.
Transmission, prevention.
We've also detected that the Aquatar reserves have been contaminated by a foreign nanovirus. As I'm pulling out the data we discovered today about the waspinator's antibodies in.
These impurities were detected previously.
When were they detected?
Probably a few days ago, basically. Like, just when you guys were arriving, they were starting to detect this from plant maintenance.
Okay.
We have been assured that this foreign antibody is spaceborne debris from the technology being brought in out of system. We have purging technology in place to rectify it.
Can you tell me more about this technology you've brought in from elsewhere?
To purge it, or that it was infected?
Oh, I thought that they brought in technology and it was contaminated, therefore...
Oh, they're basically saying that the Nakoda supply was bad. Like, it had, like, foreign antibodies on it because they drilled this stuff out from rare planets.
Okay. What I'm thinking is that Waspinator was on that shipment and he contaminated that. So... I guess I'd like to... were there any workers present there? Any personnel that brought it in, or was it all automated?
Automated.
Because this antibodies fits the profile of a Decepticon spy we are suspecting is present on this planet. So we're thinking that maybe he got in with the shipment, or he contaminated the shipment afterwards, or maybe he tried stealing some of the shipment for his own gains. So we think that he came in contact with that, so we'd like to trace the history back to see when that might have happened.
We can give you access to the logs.
Perfect. Because you are aware of this foreign Decepticon present on this planet and his pretender shell.
We have been given a adversary profile from the lead quarantine expert, Depth Charge.
That's good.
The fugitive that is being pursued by the fugitive being pursued is not considered overly dangerous and should resolve itself in a few cycles.
Well, hopefully that is so. But you never know what might happen with that.
We have been informed that the fugitive has been mortally wounded, and like your kind, and as is normal with your kind, will soon expire.
That might be true, unless he gets his hands on more energy or aqueduct supplier, which seems to be very popular in this system. So,
Aquita.
Okay.
There you go. I know we call it an aquifer, and I'm like, I'll let it go for a bit.
That seems nice. Aqueduct.
We need some more of that aqua velva.
Need some more of that aquafina. Give it to me!
In which case, he would be able to recover. So, if the
This information conflicts with the information we have been given.
Amble, I need your expertise here. How easily was he be able to heal himself if he had more energy on supply?
Easily.
Well, here's my statement from our medical professional to add to that list.
This information conflicts with the information we've been given by the lead investigator.
Well, it's 2 against 1. Please process that.
The lead investigator has point on this investigation.
I guess we'll have to talk with the lead investigator then.
We should, because he said he was here a week after he actually was here.
Yes, we will talk with him. Smart friend. I think that's everything. Unless there's anything else we'd like from the oracles. I think we've got everything.
We've been trying to bring this planet into the pattern of the star. Much of our problems have been caused by the Barons and their inability to conform. We've been told that your culture has some experience with forcing outlying factions to conform to an ordered society. Is there any suggestion or guidance you can give us in this matter?
Have you tried chopping off their heads and their hands?
No, we haven't. Should we?
Well, one suggestion I can definitely give you is that sometimes people get united when there's a conflict, and there certainly seems to be a conflict brewing on this planet with those titans and the viruses and what have you. So it seems that it has been a uniting force for the people of this planet.
Barons do not fit the profile for cooperation. It seems irrational.
Well, I think I understand what you're getting at here. I'll pull out that information we got about the Barons just like pulling in the Starlink here because they've been losing. It seems that one of the erased histories of the planet was that the Barons and the laborers have been in conflict for many solar cycles, and the Barons have capitulated by bringing in the Starlink to the system so that they might survive this conflict.
The Barons have been designated the primary caregivers of this world, and when they are brought up into the pattern and uplifted into Starleague, they'll be given full stewardship of it.
You can show also the notes that I've sent you, probably, that the Barons aren't actually the laborer class is the original people on this planet.
Yes, but they're the primary caretakers, so they're the ruling class.
No, but the primary caretakers is the original class. That was one of the issues earlier.
It is. There's a lot of suppressed history going on, but the oracles are like, nope, we've established the Barons are going to be the ones, and we're going to have to grind them down.
You try killing anyone old enough to remember.
To be clear, the oracles are in primary conflict with the Barons. They don't really deal with the laborers. The Barons deal with the laborers.
Where there's a whip,
Yeah.
there's a way.
Yeah. So, hilariously enough, the oracles are only trying to oppress and crush under their heel the Barons, who are a bunch of fucking despotic science people.
Okay, so their problem is that the Barons aren't conforming as they wanted to.
They must fall into Starleague pattern society guidelines.
You consider that perhaps maybe the Barons aren't the best choice to be the primary caretakers of this planet. Maybe if the primary caretakers were the original caretakers of this planet, the situation would resolve itself in a different fashion.
Only Type M species recognized by Starleague can be given caretaker status. The laborers fall under that outside that classification, and are more akin to flora and fauna. They mentioned that the first session
Oh,
too.
I know, but
Yeah.
Like the oracles know full well that laborers are people, but they're classified as livestock. So even though they personally know for all of their policy and all of the dealing they're going to do,
Yeah.
nope.
I suppose there's no possibility of reclassifying those species.
There's a process.
What would that
4
involve?
centuries.
Submissions must be made to the Star League. What's the word? Shit, I can't remember the name of political things anymore.
Deliberative council.
Senate. That's the word. The Senate must be involved, and deliberate and member species must be brought to a vote. A vote was declared and passed when the Barons were first brought into Star League representation, and they were voted in as the member species due to their contact and technology level.
Is there any way for a species to lose that classification level?
A vote would be declared, and another caretaker species would be voted over for them. Any species voted as caretaker would be classified as Class M.
Okay, that sounds like a long process.
A long horrifying process. Like,
Unpersoning a species?
right? It's the only way you can person one species is to deperson another?
Well, for one planet, or you could just move to another planet and...
Plus, the Barons came from somewhere.
Yeah.
They could just go there.
Okay. So it seems that, if we want, to hand it over to the laborers, we have to get rid of the Barons. Just murder all of them.
For this process to occur, a member species of Star League, a delegate species of Star League, must make the first initial proposal.
Well, I guess we'll have to talk with General Greaves in the system.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
They kind of look awkwardly at you.
I don't suppose you'd be inclined to do that.
No, but they also kind of look awkwardly at you, confused.
I mean, I don't think we've been a member of the Star League for a long while, not since our empire has collapsed and separated itself from the rest of the...
They all look at each other confused, like all the pods, and look back. You cannot withdraw as a member species of Star League.
The reality situation has absolutely no bearing on whether it's legal. It's like
You're technically still a member of the Star League.
the best kind of correct.
But we didn't pay a dues.
You're technically still a member species. You personally could vote for the Barons to be unpeopled and for the laborers to be peopled.
Could declare the vote of no confidence.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could.
a vote has been declared. Pillars start rising up in the city.
Pillars with like gargoyles on them and like blood-eyed cats.
And a single button.
We'll see where this...
Demon temples and screaming babies with bat heads start coming out. A vote. A vote.
We'll pencil that
All run
in
by
when the revolution will be happening, maybe.
all run by Jar Jar.
So I'll be the Jar Jar then.
This group has a problem with voting.
You don't know how much.
They keep trying to kill each other over it.
So, are these creatures sentient? Perhaps we should call some witnesses. No, there's no point. We don't need that. Let's just no one's a person. Send the planet to class.
I guess in the light of the recent Titanic activity, we'd like to also propose that additional funding be funneled towards the what are they called? They call
The
themselves
Titan Hunters.
The
Hunters.
events that conspired, according to planetary records, was a one-off mutation caused by interactions with the terraforming technology. The Titanic entities are mythological at best and analogous at worst.
Well, I'd like to submit the records of the Titan Hunters that indicate there are more Titans present, which I suppose will be reviewed once another Titan appears and it will establish a pattern.
That could happen in the future, but religious doctrine is not submissible as policy. I would like to point out that the Oracle's entire society is literally a religion. Like, they're not logical logicians. They're not Vulcans. They're a cult. Their religion is making other cultures conform to Starleague.
There's no maybe. There's no maybe.
Like the symbol I wrote down for them is a cross. They're traditionalists.
Okay. I think that's everything we need for oracles. So which leaves up the leads of having to talk with Depth Charge and having to track down those missing oracles. Right.
Yeah. So.
Do you want to talk to Depth Charge? Because you have a connection.
Oh, are you going to go to the dark side?
You disappeared. I mean, you wanted to die.
So let's go talk to, we'll go talk to Depth Charge. So the questions we have to ask him just so we don't, and then sound like...
Yeah, let's pause while you guys figure this all out. Alright, we're back. So, Jackamup and Viator, you're going to investigate the missing Oracle, and Amble and Rover, you're going to try and find a reliable way to test for the disease. Yep. So, let's start over on the investigation side. You guys know where the Oracle's habitats are, or at least the important ones in this main capital city. So, pull up outside of it.
Yep.
Alright, and what?
So, do we try this talk our way in or sneak our way in?
Well, maybe let's talk our way in, because the oracles seem to be quite gullible and simple, you know. We just tell them that you're supposed to be here and they'll let you in.
I wrote them to be your allies, Peter.
They're simpletons. They don't know right from wrong.
That's the way he likes his allies.
Compliant.
It's supposed to make you feel conflicted about working with the other players against them.
You know what's really funny too is I actually have a thing where the one person here I will not lie to is your character.
Oh, good.
Well, I think you should lie to them. Well, you are the angel guy.
You are a servant of Primus.
Well, you know, we're here for a cause, not to steal shit. So,
Immediately Jack him up just starts returning all the things he was just stealing as he said this.
Yes, we tell whoever's the concierge is dead.
Alright, but how are you getting in? Because you're giant fucking robots.
Well, I guess time to use our holo projectors.
Your hollow matter avatars. So what do your avatars look like that are like scaled to the rest of the people here?
I guess just like us, only smaller?
It's
Just little robots.
Mini-cons.
No, it's a labor. It's basically the labor face from the local life form, except it's wearing the Team Fortress 2 Scout gear.
Okay.
Okay.
And you, Peter?
Just a scaled down version of me.
Very good. Alright, you walk on into the building. Wow. It's an administrative center. There are aliens, like, being secretarial pools here.
Hello there. We're investigating these oracles. Could you point us where they live?
The alien behind the counter looks at the data slate, looks at you, and just starts checking away on their console. Alright, you just have to set up a meeting with this oracle, and you'll be able to meet with the pod.
Well, I think we have it already set up. Why else would we be here?
Remember, these are aliens, not oracles.
Okay.
These are people.
Nice try, though.
I know, you have to get up to where the oracles are. They don't have oracles manning the desk. That's insane.
For this reason and this reason.
Do you want me comms? Do you want me to handle this?
Sure.
It's like, all right. So he sort of heads forward and says, "Look, I don't know, but this guy's really high up there, and I think they wanted to make sure that this was done really quickly. So I really would just let this guy in if I were you. I'm gonna use my talk nonsense skill.
Really quickly. Yeah, or you should probably talk nonsense or fail.
Am I being helped? Because
Are you being helped?
Because he has to translate for you.
I'm giving you advice that you should, just bullshit that way through. That's my Jedi wisdom for you.
my character's reading from a script he previously wrote out and translated. There we go. 13.
So what does talk nonsense do?
Talk nonsense. Essentially, I think it's just when you talk sense by telling grandiose lies with a straight face. Roll courage.
Roll courage. All right. Did you roll courage well?
I did. I rolled a 13.
All right, and that just means you just lie the shit out of them.
Basically, yeah. It's when I speak with conviction and ask someone for help. And I
Please
did
let
it
us
by
in,
lying.
sir.
Yes,
Okay.
it's clear we're authorized. Look, this guy, he's a diplomat. He's one of the Knights of the Stars. You know, it's no big deal.
The secretary just
Don't
kind of
remain in
looks
check.
over your shoulder to where you're parked outside.
Yeah.
Mean you.
Looks at our shins. Yep. The same shins.
Okay. And they give you clearance for the elevator to that section of the building.
Boop.
All right. There are other oracles in the elevator with you.
Hello there, oracles.
Hello there, Viator.
Have you seen these oracles recently?
No.
Do you know which room they live in?
Yes.
Please direct us.
All right. When you get to the floor, they point you to where you have to go. They light up some lines on the floor, all iPod style.
Thank you.
All right. You get to their quarters. It's a sealed door. Smash it.
We're in Hollow.
Destroy.
No.
All that matter means you can
Knock.
still affect things. You're not like ghosts or fire. You're tangible, unlike ghosts or fire.
Knock, knock.
If this was Cybertron, it would be that easy, but this technology doesn't seem to be comply with my standards. I'll use my my open word that's useful to open it.
Oh, there we go.
All right. You break the seal.
Tap tap.
Alright, so it's a habitat pod, which is basically a weird, full of like spider silk and wet pond everywhere nest thing. It's a weird nest thing. And
Organics.
yeah, it's creepy.
I'll take a few shots for
Alright,
Rover.
so yeah, you're walking through here. You have no idea what to expect because you've never seen this before to compare.
Oh, this looks perfectly normal with all this gore hanging from the walls.
Don't worry, I've seen plenty of those detective holodramas on this show. I was very, very bored in those 3 days. I know what to do. Ah, very interesting. Pulls out like a spray bottle. It doesn't have luminol in it or anything. Just...
God. What are you looking for in here?
Well, if there are bodies around, that would be perfect, but...
Oh yeah, there are 3 oracle bodies.
There we go, that was easy.
Yeah. Like they're alive, but they're super sick looking.
Oh. Okay then. So they look like they're sick from the same disease.
You have no way to tell because that's science and medicine and you don't know shit about that. Or about this species. Or about how the species would look compared to that other species that's sick. You don't know anything about this. How?
I'm gonna say
Who the
this.
fuck
this,
do you think you are?
This calls for an alarm because, I mean, like she's just doing like these wild gesticating down at the bodies.
Well, seems we should be taking them to the, CDC center because they're clearly sick. We have to make sure that, they're not having
Yeah,
the same
okay.
disease.
I will admit that trusting the amazing Oracle bureaucracy to help these poor suckers, not exactly on the list of most sensible things.
Alright, part 1, getting in. Part 2, smuggling 3 oracles out.
Smuggling? We have the authority here. Respect our authority.
I just figure you guys are gonna weekend at Bernie's.
I mean, worst case scenario, I'll just fly on up to where the window is. Open it gently.
like just shooting open the like Ed 209 shooting that body in RoboCop, the side of the building, blowing open all the walls. Not the single room that it's in, like the whole side of the building. Flam, 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 flam.
See, I'm just open the window for myself, so myself can take it out. Send it back and forth.
God. Just blowing it open with explosives. Kidnapping.
If you weren't, concerned about the threat level, maybe, but this is no action movie.
Alright, we cut to the power plant.
Okay.
The Nakura facility is has laborers coming in and out. It's highly powered. It looks like they're shooting scans now to like check certain members of the staff as they come in and out. It looks like a nuclear reactor. Like it's a big cartoonish nuclear reactor site.
Okay.
So we're gonna go in and you should take samples of Naquita from various points and maybe get some blood work from some of these laborers.
Will
See
do.
if we can draw some conclusions. I'm gonna go talk to the people who have been running the scans, see what kind of data they've collected.
Sounds good. So, yeah, I'd start going around collecting different data samples from Anaquita, just tracking different things, collecting blood samples, and yeah, going around, just kind of randomly going through people, trying to find the people who work like the deepest in the building maybe, and then also a few people who work on the outside, seeing if we can compare different levels in their blood.
The workers are resistant to letting you take samples of them.
I met with that, what was the female doctor's name? Christine?
Catherine.
I met with Catherine.
Fuckers. You named her.
We brought her along.
Yeah. Yeah, can we have brought Catherine along?
You absolutely can't bring Catherine.
Okay. So I assume she'll help. She'll make this
Yep.
process go a lot.
There is a faction of these people that will push back, though.
Okay. What? Like, I'll go up to one of the ones pushing back and I'll be like, why? What?
You're outsiders. Outsiders don't bring anything good to this world.
And her? Pointing at Catherine.
Collaborate.
She's a race traitor. Oh, how many precious things do you...
We're different from the other outsiders. And
That's what they all say.
very well. As long as you don't get in our way, just leave us be with the ones who are willing to cooperate.
Yeah, they're just not gonna let you.
Okay, that's fair. As long as they don't get in our way.
Talk sense to them. Try to convince them. Pay them off.
I'm not with them.
That's fine. He can talk nonsense.
Otherwise, I could just leave.
Yeah, no. No,
Let's
I'm
come
just
back
gonna
to
like, as long as they don't get in my way, I'm gonna collect samples from other ones, and then try and meet back up with Amble to see what notes he's gathered.
Amble.
Yeah, so I'm going to go to one of the scientists that's conducting the scans, and I'm going to ask them to review their data.
Alright. Yeah, they're going over the scanning stations. They'll give you the data, because why wouldn't they? You're the people who ordered them. What are you looking for?
I'm trying to figure out the vector that links the Naquita to the actual infection. Like, we know that there is a correlation between people working this plant and getting sick, but we don't know exactly how it transfers from the Naquita to them.
That's transmission. You can't get to it yet. You have to figure out a reliable test to build that data out.
Okay, well then we can identify people who are symptomatic and people who aren't. So I want to examine the scans that they've taken to note the differences in their physiology, and then use that to build a test.
Okay. What do you think the differences are?
It's probably keyed to the metabolic rates of their organs.
Okay. What do you think, Ian?
I mean, if they have any similar thing to like a white blood cell count, it'd be like skyrocketingly high.
Alright, so you think the test is tied to basically the body's immune response?
Yeah, because you say their organs are shutting down, so the body's like, fuck, we gotta fix this, and yeah, throwing everything, and then that's why it overloads and they end up dying.
Do you both agree on that?
I think that it's tied to the organs, and if they're having problems with their organs, it would spike their white blood cells, or whatever the equivalent they have.
Yeah,
is.
they have that basically.
Yeah.
Antibodies.
Yeah.
Okay, and you think there's a genetic factor?
Some, but we've seen at least one species already.
Yeah.
Like, we know that Titans can get it as well.
So they're either Titans and these either share more similarities than we think.
Which, if they're both actually natives to this
Yeah.
planet.
That's a huge thing too. Remember, they're talking about natives
Yeah.
to the biosphere last session,
Yeah.
and how that was super plausible, and it jumping wasn't.
Yeah. Can I see, like, pulling up my research notes on the Titan that I obviously took, and that is still being taken from the people we left with the Titans. Can we see, like, what's the difference between the strain in the Titan? Like, has it fully jumped species so it's a different strain, or is it still a similar, like, across the board as if these are almost the same species?
The strain the Titan has matches one of the strains you have on file.
So that's the Titan's DNA, or the Titan is
Specifically,
really close to these species then if it can still attack them.
specifically the strain that you found from the local, like, power. Like, the people from that power plant, basically. It had
Oh,
the same
from
strain.
like in that area?
Yeah, had the same strain.
Interesting. Because that means the Titans are really close to them, organically speaking. Like closer than just they live on the same planet.
Or, you know, it just attacks similar part of the DNA or something like that. And,
Maybe.
you know, run the DNA scans, compare it, you know, which parts get affected.
I mean, like, we can get the same disease as pigs.
Yeah,
But we're not that close.
I guess.
So we want to test and see if we can rig up some kind of test for white blood cell counts and organ metabolism.
Sure, I'm going to throw a cut at you, though.
Okay.
To get the complete information you need to actually be able to screen for this, you will need to take a patient from non-infected to death and biopsy them.
Give us your criminals.
Like, you'll have to vivisect someone.
So
while they're-
we'll have to. What you're saying is we have to infect someone because we have to see them before they were
Yeah, you
infected.
have to establish the baseline, and you don't have the
Okay.
baseline.
I assume we both like figure this out kind of at the same time while
Unless
discussing.
one of you wants to propose that thing first.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
one proposes it first?
I'll propose it. So, looking at this data, I think you're thinking we need more information. We need to see from 0 to 100.
Okay.
Now, it's never a fun thing,
That's one.
but we need to find someone willing and uninfected to help us.
What are you suggesting exactly?
Unfortunately, the ultimate sacrifice.
And you're looking for a volunteer?
It's gone more pleasantly in my experience with volunteers.
You're experienced with this?
Hey, who'd like to die?
Let's just say there was a one of the colonies that I had a while ago. Things went south, and it was one of my first learning curves with organics.
Well, if you establish that the Titans can transmit disease, you just need to go out, find a Titan, and just stretch it up.
Yeah, I don't wanna. Normally, elderly, or
I mean, if you want it completely ethical, there's the doctor right there. She might volunteer to save
No.
the species.
no.
No, because she has a name.
Also, the fact that
She's a medically trained doctor
yeah.
who created the symptoms profile.
and who is
don't
class
kill them
exempt is like she's super valuable alive.
No, these aren't your pets or your petri dish samples. We're not going to commit someone to their doom when there's a chance we can save them. We have an obligation as healers to do the opposite of that. I refuse to believe that this is the only way to go about it. Now, capturing a Titan or some other organism on this planet that might be jumped over, something non-sentient, that I can get behind.
Interesting. Okay.
Probably.
Titan. I don't like the sounds of a Titan, because that doesn't seem like something. Although, I assume we have your notes from when you met with the oracles the first time, how they don't believe that the Titans are real, right?
Yeah.
Although, that said, if we do find another Titan, we could speed up the fact that people believe in Titans. Can we do an orbital scan of this planet looking for Titans? Buried under the surface?
Sure, if you want to scare one up.
We don't want to scare one up. I just want to scan to see like where a dormant one is and like how many are dormant.
Well, there's one.
Look closely.
Okay?
It's kind of dead right now.
It's
Do
already
you want
infected,
to
though.
help me?
Yep.
True.
You need someone who's clean.
Yep.
Okay, and that's using wisdom, so that's a
Sense, I think.
sense?
Look closely, sense.
Okay. So that will still be an 11.
Yeah. Ask these questions 3.
Alright. Coming at me.
Okay.
How many Titans there are?
Yeah, how
Which
many
one's not infected?
Titans are there on this planet? Just a rough, like, I assume our scanners can't be like,
Using the teletrain system to scan for hotspots based off of the power fluctuations of their energy system, there are hundreds beneath the surface that are starting to rise up.
okay, great. Next. Well, we can't tell if they're infected or not from this scan because we don't have a test, clearly.
I mean, you could say that, these ones have elevated body temperature, therefore they're more likely to be infected. Versus like,
That's a possibility,
Need
but
for
we don't.
infected though.
Yeah.
Need it
Yeah.
pure sample.
What's the smallest one closest to the surface? Where's that located?
How about, is there a small one close to the surface?
Yeah, is there a small one close to the surface?
Sure.
Okay. Third question. Yeah, small in quotes.
Yeah.
Does it have an elevated body temperature?
Yeah, does it have an elevated body temperature?
No.
No. Okay. So, you want a Titan. Do you want to go?
Better than marching someone to their death, which you were very eager to jump on.
Whoa. Let's get one thing straight here. I take no pleasure in the death of organics. And I would much rather, again, from my experience, it's better for one to die and many to live.
Again, so quick to justify.
Let me get one thing clear. I'm the doctor.
Very well. Maybe if I was... I'm not as much a doctor as you, so maybe if I was better at healing, I could save more, but...
I'm a doctor, but not the kind that helps people.
I'm a biologist, or I'm not a doctor. There is a difference.
Yeah, I know. That's the joke.
Yeah. Maybe with your help we can save them all.
You do have a spark twin that's a doctor, so maybe that's where you picked it up from.
It's true. Maybe my brother could have done more. But I haven't seen him since the war. Anyway, you want to go fight a Titan?
I'm up for it.
I'll bring the Titan Killer.
Who's the Titan killer?
I don't know who the
Oh.
Titan killer is. I was gonna
That
say
woman?
how close. Yeah, I might
Baronessa.
give her just a heads up. We're gonna go fight one,
Yeah, probably
But-
never the best.
but not that she's needing to be there. Just a heads
They're
up.
not going to
we're-
do much.
Yeah.
Their power was numbers and technology.
Yeah. No, I'm just gonna
She's
give
not
her a
gonna s-
heads up. We're gonna fight
She's
one.
tiny.
You can go to my cockpit and pretend you're piloting me as I punch it in the head.
On a scale, how close
that happens
is
in
this?
Star Trek and versus the Transformers.
How close is this to any civilization?
Not close yet. It's burrowing its way towards it.
Okay, so it's deep. Well, I kind of meant like where is it coming out on the surface? So it is coming out
It's
close.
going to come out of a mountain range.
Okay. Because I was just gonna orbitably shoot at it until.
You need
But that's
a
probably
live
not the best.
sample.
Yeah.
So we'll spin from you to part
Yeah.
2 of your guys' merry little adventure.
Huh. Well, everybody's there. Let's move into the CC then. Whatever. Okay.
So, you have a bunch of sick oracles, 3 of them, in their rooms. You're in the room, and you have to get them out of here.
I see that the window's open.
No,
Oh no.
they're spiders. They don't really do sunlight.
I thought they were jellyfish.
They're jellyfish spiders. Imagine a
Okay.
jellyfish mixed with a spider.
Okay.
We're
I'm not
peacekeepers.
Are you the only one in the room with these guys?
Not these two.
I'm here too.
They're using their hollow matter avatars.
Okay, I was just wondering because I know he has a space bridge. One of these two
Yeah.
has space bridge magic, so
A ground bridge.
yeah,
Ground
ground bridge.
Well, when I'm in space, it's a space.
No, it isn't. It is never a space bridge. Space bridges can go from
I know.
one galaxy to
I'm,
another.
I'm teasing. I was.
Don't talk to me.
So it's a sort of internal thing, not on the outside of the building. There's no easy access.
No, fuck you. Fuck you, and it'd be easy for you. Now remember, and I'm just gonna get this note because you guys are smart. If the oracles see that they have a sick member of their species, they have their own process for locking down and quarantining stuff, and they will totally fuck with you. They won't let you take them out of here.
I look over at some of the cocoon stuff and
I just imagine like empty VHS cassettes of the movie Cocoon full for Brimley, like lining the walls.
Well, just getting a couple trolleys from the room server. Just put them underneath it. Just drape it over.
All right, so you want to go get boxes to put them in?
I guess. Yeah.
make sure. Now this is really important. We gotta have holes in the top, or else it's just a whole thing.
Organics.
All right, so you walk out of here in your hollow avatar and go to a closet, and you're looking for boxes.
Yes.
All right, you find 3 coffin boxes for them.
Perfect. Is there any window in the hallway? Blow out easy.
No, you're inside. They cluster together like spider nests.
Fine. Let's take those boxes.
All right, so now you got the jellyfish.
Stuck them in.
They're
Well,
still
one per
alive.
box. 1 per box. It's all they'll
Yep.
fit.
Yep, that's fine.
All right, you got 3 boxes.
Well, we're strong. We're strong holograms.
Yeah, sure.
Let's carry them out.
All right.
Oh, I can't see this going wrong in any way.
All right.
I still say
3
you
oracles
guys-
approach you as you leave the room. Hello there, Peacekeeper, Viator.
Hello there. How are you?
We are doing optimal. What are you doing in this quarters? It has been sealed.
It didn't look sealed to me.
It was.
It wasn't sealed.
It really wasn't. No.
No,
Really.
Go on.
According to Rule 3217 of the Galactic Handbook, it's not sealed. It's very clear.
If the
I
door-
roll, asshole.
if the door wasn't locked,
If the
wasn't
door's still
sealed.
locked.
Am
it's
I
not
being
sealed.
aided?
No. Nah.
That would be an 8.
So how does that roll work?
So that is a talk sense.
You owe them a favor.
I owe them a favor.
All right, what are you doing?
So I just wanted to let us out of here and not question it. So
Well, they're gonna question you.
okay,
unless you
I
can-
want them to question it later. They're going to file like an official request. That seems like something that these guys are good at. They're going to engage the standard
What do you
bureaucracies
got
of
on
their
you?
species.
What do you got on you as collateral?
It's collateral.
Yeah. What
got
kind of gear do you got?
Food,
fucker?
healing nanites. I've got my.
I'll give you my hologram.
Oh,
Buddy.
wait, okay. What item on there do you like the most?
Probably the bat would be the absolute number one thing.
Go
Except it
one
literally
down
can't
after
be.
that.
Yeah. The slingshot.
After that.
Okay. How about they can have the official book of Cybertronian laws?
What is that?
It's
What's
the
that?
adventuring contract that lets me win an argument with another PC.
No, I want you to keep that because that's fun and conflict heavy. I want you to get to a fight with the other PCs over this.
We're down to healing stuff then, because I
Do you
really
have a lot of it?
I have gobs of food. I have Energon. I have
You just look at the
healing
elven
stuff.
wine.
I've got one left of elven
Damage
wine.
your sense.
It's already damaged.
Damage your wisdom.
It's already damaged.
God damn you.
You need to let me know when you're
You
rolling
need to
the
not
damage.
die.
We were in a big fight.
Didn't he heal you once?
He did. I was at like 4 damage.
What other moves are
You
there?
only have 4 health. Oh no, you have 5 health.
What other stats
Holy
are
sh-
there?
Blood, courage,
blood,
grace.
courage, and grace.
Damage your grace.
Okay.
You are not
Alright,
crazy.
you're good. Very well. They exhaust you out of your grace and patience, and then they leave.
Tup, tup, tup.
Alright, you get to the elevator. You're just stacking those crates in.
Yep.
Elevator's going down. Brownout. The elevator stops.
Huh. Well, I guess we can take our own bodies and plug into the grid to power it from our...
Oh, you're hall matter avatars.
Yeah, we can't do that.
No, but our actual bodies.
That would disrupt the hologram avatar, and then you'd have to send it back in. And the
Well,
connection.
looks like I gotta climb down to something. All right, so yeah, I will basically try and leave the body here, and we are going to. Let's see, what's a good one here? I'm kind of wondering what move to do. What could I potentially do here? What would it involve to try and repair the system?
Well, this is obviously a cut I'm throwing at you that you're going to be in this elevator long
Wait a
enough
minute,
so
I've got one for you. We have shit tons of Energon, and this stuff is all powered by.
Yeah, alright. You usually start dumping energon into here.
We've got some processed Energon we can use for this.
Alright, burn some processed energon.
I'll burn some food.
There you go. You start shoving bread into the goddamn outlet.
Yep.
Alright, you're able to get the elevator powered enough to get to the bottom floor. Burn some food.
Yep, I burned some food.
Huzzah.
Okay. As you guys are hauling the 3 boxes, one of the boxes starts shaking and a tentacle starts sliding, or a spider leg starts creeping out as you're walking through the lobby.
No. Close it back in. Close the lid. Hush, hush, hush.
Only dreams.
Put
Only
it back
A
dreams.
in.
small alien child approaches.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello there, child.
Santa?
No.
Why are you taking those boxes full of people?
Oh,
Little
child.
Cindy Lou Who.
They aren't full
my
of
head.
people.
I saw a leg sticking out.
Yeah, they're just dolls. Or something.
Can I have one?
No, but you can have this Energon.
Alright, burn it.
Have this giant bat. Boom.
Yeah, here, have some nuclear fuel, asshole. Alright. I was waiting for you to do the whole, no, these guys are broken. I'm going to take them to my lab and replace a light bulb.
No. Children love nuclear fuel.
Alright. They'll take the Energon cube and fuck off. She'll make like a tree and fuck off.
I just picture like kicking it like a ball and exploding. like
she's like gonna throw it at the wall to like bounce off the wall, and just immediately cuts that one house in the nuclear test being knocked over.
Just so bad.
Alright, you get them back to your bodies. And should we smash cut to you bringing them back to the CDC?
And
where you
there's
guys
Jack
are?
them up being like,
Yeah.
We'll probably do your
witnesses.
Titan thing next session at the beginning.
Just because.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll calm that.
Alright, let's... Fuck. Alright, smash cut to the CDC center. They come back with 3 boxes.
Do the boxes have holes?
Yes, on the top, as we established.
See, I learned from last time.
Good.
I think you need some healing to come up.
Oh yeah. I will realize that Jack 'em Up is mortally wounded.
It's jacked up.
Technically, I still haven't put the fire out yet.
Still-
He's been walking around.
So
fire.
That's how you know someone's important.
The thing is, most of my healing is related to eating, and we technically have to ask the GM for that. So
I mean,
Okay.
that's...
I will heal you twice.
You don't actually have to. You just have to break a meal every once in a while. Like if you just have food with someone.
It's like,
doesn't
if
even
you're in a
pass time.
safe place in between scenes, you
Yeah.
can fill
Alright,
your belly.
so you healed me twice, and look. After that, after this mess, I could probably use some food. Oh, and these guys need some desperate medical attention, way more than me.
Okay, I'll go take a look at the oracles. Are they dead?
No, they're alive.
Yeah, I'm gonna, while you're looking at them, I'm gonna like put a barricade up so that you're in like your own private, so no one's gonna see you dealing with the oracles. There's no cameras, there's no nothing. This is very separate. Big signs being like, do not enter, super quarantine room.
I'm only gonna heal you once
Okay,
because I'm gonna heal one of the oracles.
sounds good. And I'm gonna crack open a rolling bot. If anyone else would like to join in on that.
I think I'll be fine. So you get to heal 2 then.
I think I can only heal 1. I'll just use a.
Well, you heal 1 because you use food, and then when you...
He's got to share it with someone.
That was a fun experience. I had no idea Servants of Primus were allowed to lie. That's very interesting.
Just brushes them.
So, pulls out a rolling bot. If no one else wants one, he gives it to Boilermaker.
I can cross off one of my food if it helps you.
No, I've got. If I use a food, it's enough for 3 people, and I have 4 of those. So,
Wait a minute.
Well...
Whenever you try to fill your belly, you have to pay a price.
Oh no!
That was one of the first things you tripped on this world.
Oh no!
Oh, you assholes! I got you.
Would you like me to use up the food then for you to pay the price for you?
One
Sure.
person has to pay the price.
Yes.
okay, you want to pay the extra food or whatever.
So I'll chip in with my food as well to pay the price for that. I'll just use his food normally. Yeah, and I'll just roll with gears. Don't you restore the uses from your gears when you eat? Or something?
Yeah, but I don't have a lot of food left.
No,
He
but
still
I
has
burned
one-
one for
Oh,
3.
You burned one for
Yeah,
3? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
A half
then,
a meal
yeah.
is enough for 3 people.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
Then restore something.
Then
and,
yes, I get to...
And you heal 2 damage then, because then you're sharing
let me
your
see
heal.
if I...
Alright, I'm better.
Okay. So healing the oracles.
Yeah, I'm gonna put on my robot scrubs and
Overshield on.
yeah,
Blue overshield.
and start using my light to rejuvenate one of the oracles.
Heal up, heal up, heal up.
Okay. Okay, you're starting to. You're nursing one of them back to health, or stability, maybe consciousness. Let's say.
Okay.
All right, it starts to click and like come alive.
So, what happened to you?
We are sick.
When did you get sick?
Earlier.
Did anyone made you sick?
We became sick.
Do you remember anything suspicious from before you got sick?
Before we were sick?
Yes, right before we were sick.
Nothing was suspicious before we were sick.
Was anything suspicious after you were sick?
We became sick.
Do you recall making a proclamation to do the quarantine thing? Is that a thing in your memory?
Yes.
Do you remember why you did that?
There was a plague.
So, you established a planet-wide quarantine shooting all people for a disease with less than 100 people on a planet that only affected one person. And that doesn't seem odd to you?
Did someone ask you to make the quarantine?
The quarantine would be necessary to stop an outbreak from spreading.
Who reported the outbreak to you?
We became sick.
Okay.
Wait. You became sick, so you quarantined the planet?
We could not allow this plague to spread outside into the... Shit, I can't remember the name.
The
Star
League?
Star League.
So, wait, looking over them,
So
are they
they're
infected with the
plague.
same thing?
Yeah, now you got it.
Okay, good.
Well, I was almost saying it would be more funny, like, oh, we got the flu and we cannot resume the containment, so we locked down the entire planet, and those guys getting sick, that's just coincidental, but
It's a coincidence, we're just dicks.
we're just feeling under the weather, so we quarantine the whole planet. Chew.
Okay.
Okay. So, explain this one thing, because I do remember one thing, and this was actually something I remember you saying one time, I think. And it was something to the effect of the idea of a disease infecting multiple species of organics from different planets is re-goddamn ridiculous.
I don't think I said that, because I said... They said that.
No,
like
but
the oracles. I said I'm specifically worried this will jump out to other species. That's why I haven't brought down Osiris, and that's why I've told all of us to keep your hands clean.
I mean, but it does seem really weird. I mean, I don't know if you've
Just
noticed.
open fire.
I know, I'm sure you've noticed as an astute observation in the Oceanics, y'all look pretty much the same to me, but there is a slight difference between the, pulls up a hollow projector of like a laborer cast.
You just
and
point to a labor cast,
Oh,
point
yeah,
to a bear, and
see,
point to
see.
them.
a slight difference between them, and I find it a little hard to believe that both can be infected by the same thing.
It is unlikely.
Yeah. We gotta dig into this more.
This is the same strain, or is it a different one?
Same strain.
Of course, the Titans were infected too, which leaves a whole other question.
Do the Oracle genetic profile match the ones of the laborers, or the completely different species?
Different species, different worlds.
Okay.
Well, we've got the info we need. No witnesses.
What?
Thought you were just telling me.
I'm just
Especially because we need these
Oh,
ones
yeah, well, that was
to
classic.
say they're sick so that the other oracles bend in line.
I mean, the quarantine is already in place, so therefore
No, but the
nothing
other...
changes.
Yes, but
They're very logical like that.
fair. Okay, well we're off to hunt a Titan.
Is that all the questions you were going to ask this oracle, who was clearly avoiding your questions?
Are you avoiding your
He's
questions?
clearly specifically denying your questions. Like it's like, why'd you do that? Oh, when I got sick. When'd you get sick? Earlier.
I thought they didn't work it.
Well, I guess we need more
Someone needs to look
oracles.
closely at this guy and ask some questions. And it shouldn't be me because jacking him up sense is terrible.
I think what is going on here is that there's just a single oracle, therefore it cannot reach consensus with the other two.
I'm gonna reveal the way.
Ooh.
Look, it's clear that you're concealing something from us. And I think it would be in your best interest if you were just completely forthright and truthful and told us all of the pertinent information to the outbreak of this plague.
Oh boy.
And
Can I help you with that in any way?
can you?
I'd
mean,
have
I
to be. One of us would have to be the one to translate, and we can translate it giving off the context. Do you want it to be like we're helping, or to be a little bit scary when you say it?
Well, I got an 8. So they'll do
Okay.
it, but they'll either do it in the way that they think is best, or they'll only do it if I help them.
That's good enough. I guess.
Okay, that's fair.
Alright. For you to help them, you gotta help cover this up.
Sure, we'll cover it up. Grenade.
Now you have to cover up their involvement. They don't know what the extent of that means, but you have to do it.
I can work with that.
Okay. We became sick, and we knew that it would spread to the other oracles, so we put the quarantine in place.
Fair.
How did you become sick?
We were infected.
By what? Just contact?
Death charge.
Elaborate.
He came to us, infected us, told us we were infected, and that it would spread to the whole world unless we quarantined it.
Oh.
I forgot that his name was depth charge, and I thought you were saying that they were infected by a depth charge.
Right?
Depth. I see. Depth charge knew. Waspinator was on this planet.
Skyway, fire the
Didn't want
cannons.
Waspinator to leave, so and he wanted reasons to shoot down anything that left the planet without
Yeah.
any repercussions. So he quarantined it and actually released a virus rather than just faking releasing a virus. So now he has full legal authority to shoot down anything he wants without questions asked. That's what he's after. So he's just gonna.
You know, I'd say that there's no way Deptarge would do that, but no, Deptarge would totally do that.
Again, that scene, him on the bridge, staring into the void of space, waiting. Which he said several times he can wait this out. With certainty.
Someone's a zealot.
Yeah. Okay. So now we know who started it. He might have a cure for it.
I mean, why have a cure if you don't care about the infected?
So wait a minute though. I don't know about the whole starting thing. Does that jive with the timeline?
Yeah, it does, because he got here a week before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Showed up
Yeah.
early.
Okay.
And even if he can't cure it, he at least can tell us specifically who's capable of getting infected. I assume now that we are not capable of being infected, because he would not release it unless... I don't think he would send us to this planet if it could infect us. Because I don't think he would try and kill us. I think he would stop us from coming to this planet and tell us he has it under control if he was trying to use this disease to infect Waspinator.
Yeah, I don't
think it can infect us. Because I think if it could
and
infect...
specifically creating depth charge is
Yeah.
one of those letter of the rules more than the spirit types, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Is that totally like you said, Judge Dredd? So
He's pretty Judge Dreddy.
Yeah.
and that is officially against the numerous codes.
Plus, again, if it was meant to spread and hit Waspinator, he would have just told us he has this, he's dealing with it, move on, and we probably would have just moved on and been out of his hair. But he sent us down here to flush out Waspinator. So,
Given the choice between
yeah, he wouldn't sacrifice the four of us to kill Waspinator, I don't think. Not that I know Depth Charge well enough, but...
But would he sacrifice a bunch of organics to get rid of
Yes.
Wasp?
Oh, clearly.
Yeah, that's he is a little bit grim and humorless about that sort of thing.
Well, maybe he didn't expect it to jump species. Maybe he thought that only the oracles would be infected, and that would be it.
No, because
It's
the Oracle
spreading
thing didn't wasn't public knowledge.
No.
Yeah.
Oracles got sick, therefore they declared the,
No,
Shut
no,
down.
quarantine.
I follow that, but he needed the cover of there being a plague in the populace.
Yeah, so he must have dropped something. He dropped probes from orbit and released the virus.
Technically, he
into-
didn't need it because the Oracles proposed it, the Oracles approved it really quickly, and then he seconded it, and then he became in charge, so he had the whole system in his hand after that, so everything else didn't matter really. What was real
He
now.
still needed someone to be visibly sick, because the oracles couldn't be visibly sick. But he needed someone to be visibly sick,
I mean,
otherwise.
the Oracles, if they declare that there is an outbreak here, then
Yes.
the other Oracles believe it, therefore they don't need other proofs.
Yes, but the other oracles, after looking at this planet, will go,
Alright.
the outbreak is over, the end.
No, they won't. Because Death Charge is in charge of that.
Yeah, Depth Charge is the one who can call the quarantine off. He's the only one who has that power.
Exactly.
But I think on that revelation, as you guys think of what your next action is, we'll call it for the night. So I was Devin,
Tyler?
Ian.
Peter.
Mark?
and this is sponsored by Nobody, signing off.